Cross-examination of Chris Melton. Lots of C's. Melton Monday.
Good morning, Mr. Melton. My name is Attorney Amai Cruz. I have the privilege and honor of representing Mr. Faust. And under the authority of this court, I'm going to ask you some questions, okay?
Certainly. The authority of the court.
Why didn't you cry?
When?
Just now. Why didn't any tears fall out of your eyes?
Oh, I love this man!
They are falling down.
Okay. Well, let's talk about January 19th.
Mr. Cruz, I could give you a big sloppy wet kiss right now. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Yeah, he changed his intro for this guy. And no objection. No objection. Holy moly, let's run that back.
I was not prepared for that.
Good morning, Mr. Melton. My name is Attorney Amai Cruz. I have the privilege and honor of representing Mr. Faust. And under the authority of this court, I'm going to ask you some questions, okay?
The authority.
Okay. Why didn't you cry?
When?
Just now. Why didn't any tears fall out of your eyes?
They are falling down.
Okay.
They are.
Well, let's talk about January 19th. Would you agree that today you were much more emotional than you were on the day that you learned of Ms. Baker's death?
I was holding it together best I could.
So your borderline fiance is murdered and you were holding it together on the 19th, but 25 years later, you have emotion about it?
In that moment, when I'm finding this out.
Mr. Melton, that's a yes or no question.
Judge, the witness is allowed to answer Mr. Cruz's question.
That's correct. Since
When
when?
this tragedy occurred, and I'm taking this information in, I am telling myself inside, do not collapse in this moment. Hold it together. There are other people that are also relying on you. And I had to get through this. And that's where I'm at.
Who was relying on you during your initial interview with police?
The police, her family, her friends, anyone who loved her.
So the police were relying on you to hold it together during the interview?
If I'm not holding it together, I can't think things through.
Sure.
Think what through?
Did you know that your DNA was found?
I thought the truth would set it free.
Yeah.
Zanus?
Oh, boy.
I was informed.
Who told you that?
Liz and Jeremy.
That's the GBI agents. So Jeremy and Liz, Elizabeth Bigham and Jeremy, I don't remember his last name yet. Those are the 2024 cold case unit detectives.
From the GBI.
When did they tell you that? Because in the recorded interview that we have, they didn't mention that to you.
Oh.
That's my recollection. If I...
Oh.
This is,
My question is when? When did they tell you?
Oh.
if that's not the correct recollection, I'm not sure at this moment.
Oh.
Let me ask you this. When was the last time you met with the state?
This morning.
Okay. And they talked to you about your testimony?
We went over what the courtroom would be like.
Okay. So this is rehearsed. Is that fair to say?
I wouldn't say rehearsed.
But you went over it not just this morning. You went over it a couple of times last week. Is that right?
We have established a process in which would occur in this courtroom as far as steps that are taken once I get here and whatnot.
Okay. So the questions that you were asked today, you already knew you were going to be asked those questions, correct?
Yes.
And then he takes his little easel pad up there. What does he have on the easel pad? I'm so excited.
No, I am going to.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Can I say something to this?
I put the lavalier mic on. Bless your heart, Mr. Cruz.
He
Now if we
wants
could just
us to
get the
be
camera.
heard.
Move the camera. This poor guy on the witness stand is like, just kill me now.
The hand is very close to his head.
It is very close. It's like it's trying to pat him and soothe him. It'll be okay, son.
Mr. Melton,
It'll
would
be
you like
okay.
a slim marker or a big marker?
What kind of marker do you want to circle your lies? Oh man.
All right. Let the record reflect that I am going to give you a black Sharpie, okay? I'd like you to write the very first time that you mentioned during your direct examination in regards to your actions or where you went on January 19, 2001. Do you understand that?
Thank you.
Yes.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
May.
I was thinking during his
Can you please
direct
write the
that
first
I
place you went
had no
on
idea what he did.
January 19th on that board there?
I think this is good because it's going to reinforce the jury tracking what the supposed
Your Honor,
timeline
I
is
would
by
ask
seeing it
Yes.
in writing.
Mr. Cruz is going to ask the witness to engage in whatever this is, that be repositioned to a place where the jury can actually see it.
I can do that.
And me. I want
And
to see
us. Yes, please. Mr. Cruz. How dare you? How dare you not allow us to see, sir? Oh, bring it right to the middle.
We'd
The
like to also
Autry
be able to see it. I guess, Judge, do you want us to move, or do you
No, I
want
think-
him to move it over there?
Mr. Cruz, I think perhaps moving that back would be best for everyone to take a look at it. Thank you, Mr. Hill.
Sure.
What are we doing? Oh.
Right, sir. May-
Oh, I'm so
Sure, can you
sorry,
write the first
Falls and
place you went
Puddles.
and the
That's
time,
miserable. I know
that you went to that location.
Also, shout out to She's Like Texas for the 10 gifted. Let's get some W's in the chat for She's Like Texas. Shout out to She's Like Texas. Doing it big with 10 gifted.
Come on, cameraman, you can do
Okay,
it.
So
we have
I want to make sure I'm
faith.
correct. You wrote Nash Plumbing 7:30 to 7:45. Okay. So you remember from January 19, 2001, you went to Nash Plumbing between those times. Is that fair to say? Okay, but you could not remember when law enforcement asked you if you knew Miss Baker was going to be alone in 2006? You can take a seat, Mr. Melton.
Putting him by the mic.
Along the way, I'm questioned about certain things, and I pull up my best recollection. Post this, I've been traumatized. I'm grieving. My mind is certain things and certain times. It's hard to pull from. And in those moments, stress also, in times, it's more difficult than others in certain moments to recollect certain things. And sir.
Let me cut you.
Please
So it's
believe
easier
me,
to
jury.
recollect alibi than it is to recollect whether or not the girl that you love told you that she was going to be home alone.
For this question, it's argumentative and improper.
Sustained.
Sure. So it's easy to remember where you went on the 19th. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Mr. Melton, so after you left Nash Plumbing, where did you go?
After I left Nash Plumbing, I went to the bank.
Okay. Can you write the time that you arrived at the bank on the board? You can just put bank and then you can put the time.
Put Wachovia. Put what it used to be called. Or it's a Wells Fargo now, right? That was that what they
yeah.
said in opening?
I think, yeah, Wachovia was purchased by Wells Fargo.
9 to
9
9:10.
o'clock.
Say 9:10. Don't change it. Because he said 9:10 on direct. 9 to 9:10.
That's a big amount of time there.
So just ask you. So you can remember that you went to Nash Plumbing, and then after that, you can remember that you went to the bank from January 19, 2001.
That's correct.
Okay. But you cannot remember from January 18th whether or not Miss Baker told you she was going to be alone?
At that time, it could depend on when the question's asked. It's not. If it's in a
What?
stressful moment, I'm going through things and trying to pull from times prior to this, when I'm not trying to, how should I say, lock in on certain things previous to this, it is difficult.
Would you agree?
Previous to to her death. Go ahead.
I didn't
What?
hear you say that one more time.
Oh, wait,
I
what did
should
he
say
say?
death. Go ahead.
I didn't hear you say that. Would you agree?
Previous to her death. Go ahead.
The
I didn't hear you say that one more
situation.
time.
I should say, it's like certain days, if somebody asks you what you have for breakfast, I couldn't tell you.
Wheaties.
But if I'm concentrating on after certain times, yes, I can, on certain things. But it's hard to describe.
So I'll switch gears. So I do want to talk about a difficult subject with you. You mentioned that you were told that your DNA was in Miss Baker's anus. Is that right?
Yes, there was a point in time I found out.
And we've agreed that that time didn't occur during your recorded interview. Is that right?
I can't recall.
That is fair. So let me
Woody
ask you this,
emoji.
Mr. Melton. You would agree that Ms. Baker did not engage in anal sex with you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You would agree that Ms. Baker was sexually assaulted anally. Is that correct?
Legal conclusion.
I wouldn't really know if she was sexually assaulted anally. Like, I don't
Well, we can't have it both ways, Mr. Melton.
I don't understand the.
You previously stated that Ms. Baker, not Ms. Baker, I'm sorry, Ms. Bigham
I see.
and Jeremy Howell told you that your DNA was in her anus. Can we agree on that? Is that fair to say?
Maybe I'm mistaken on how I found that information out. Maybe
I'm going to object to lack of personal knowledge. Mr. Cruz is asking this witness about information that was relayed.
Did you
to him as
sodomize her or
hearsay by
not?
Other witnesses who had the actual information. So I think that's both lack of personal knowledge as well as calling for hearsay.
All right.
Why would the answer
Any response to the objection,
be
Mr. Cruz?
different?
Mr. Melton stated that he was aware that his DNA was found in Ms. Baker's anus. He stated that Ms. Bigham and Jeremy Howell were the individuals that told him, and we're fleshing out his knowledge in regards to what he's aware
How
of,
that
Your
can
Honor.
happen?
I think as to the form of the question, I'm going to sustain the objection. You may rephrase if you choose to do so.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor. But there should be no reason that your DNA should be in Ms. Baker's anus. Would you agree?
I mean, other than if we have had sex and it has transferred
Dripped.
from there and say drained down to that area, then
That is interesting that you say drain, because did you know that's the exact same thing the state is arguing in this case?
I mean, it makes sense though.
So your DNA is in her anus because it drained down in her anus. Is that your position?
Gravity.
I would say that would.
Again, Your Honor, lack of personal knowledge, lack of foundation. There's been no foundation laid that Mr. Melton's aware
This
of these
jury
things. That would
has
all
to be
through
going,
GBI
what
crime lab
in
witnesses
the
who
wide
do
world
have
of
personal
sports is
knowledge.
going on?
I would love to see their faces right now.
Because if this is true, then that means every single case in the entire United States that has this type of DNA cannot be reliable.
I always
mean,
love when a prosecutor argues against the thing that they rely on all the other cases. Like, oh, Celebrite is unreliable. You know, can't look at that. Can't look at that. It's not truly accurate. But here we are.
Sorry, I was outraged.
He's Yael Mancelli, because I call it WYOWL Mancelli, is gonna get his vocal cord exercise today, isn't he?
Then if we have had sex and it has transferred from there and say drained down to that area, then
That is interesting that you say drain, because did you know that's the exact same thing the state is arguing in this case?
I mean, it makes sense though.
So your DNA is in her anus because it drained down in her anus. Is that your position?
I would say that would.
Again,
From
Your Honor,
days
lack of
ago.
Personal knowledge, lack of foundation. There's been no foundation laid that Mr. Melton's aware of these things. That would all be through GBI crime lab witnesses who do have personal knowledge and scientific information. And so there's no foundation for these questions, and he's asking for things that are outside of Mr. Melton's personal knowledge. He's asking about things.
I would object to a speaking objection, Your Honor, and just ask the state to state the ground.
Okay, I'm going to overrule that objection. He was just explaining his objection. I'm going to respond in the
Exactly.
same way as the last
Like,
objection. I'm going to sustain
approach.
the objection as to the form of the question, allow you to rephrase if you choose to do so.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor.
This is not helping Mr. Melton here, this testimony.
No.
Would you
Because
agree
It
that
would
in
be
order for
days
your
earlier.
Yeah, days
That-
earlier. And remember, this isn't sperm either. So it's like the idea that it sounds gross, but the idea that sperm could just be sitting up there and then do something else
her.
a day, 2 days, 3 days later, fall
She had
down
what-
by gravity.
She had wet hair. She had bathed. Remember, everybody smelled her shampoo, her freshly shampooed hair. Like, the state is contradicting their own witnesses. This is unbelievable. If I'm sitting on the jury, I'm going, wait, you didn't see her for days, but we know she bathed that morning. She was likely drying her hair. That's the image they have presented so far in this case. And now here we are, that days later, I mean, she just doesn't take care of her hoo-ha. Is that what you're trying to say? And
But we can't get into
Right.
412. We can't get into that unless
I-
it's Chris Melton, which is the exception here. But
I
like,
think this is super damning to the prosecution. Super damning.
Not for nothing, but if Chris Melton were the one on trial, he wouldn't be able to say that his DNA got transferred there by somebody else having intercourse with her because he wouldn't be able to get into that. Like,
This is crazy.
sorry we told you to get snacks right before we get into this line of questioning, but here we are, chat.
Hope you chose properly.
Yeah.
Would you agree that in order for your DNA to drain into Ms. Baker's anus, you would have to have sex with her? Can we agree on that point?
Agree.
Okay.
There you
Did
have
you have
it.
sex with Ms. Baker the day of her death?
Boom.
No, sir.
The last time you saw Ms. Baker, was it 6 days before or 10 days before?
From the beginning, I've said I saw her the weekend prior.
From the beginning, you've said that?
Yes, sir.
That
Impeach.
you've seen her the weekend, and that has always been what you said.
That's not what
There was
he
a
said.
time that I was confused, and it was 20 plus years later. And then I made a statement that I felt like maybe it was 10 days prior, and I was confused at that point.
No, the 10 days came first. And not for nothing, but if you've only ever thought it was the weekend prior, the most that would ever be is 7 days.
And that's just not it's not feasible because like you said, it's not semen that they detected DNA. It was just his DNA. Is that what my understanding is? It was
it's not
DNA
semen.
with sperm in it.
No, it's not semen. They didn't find any semen.
So that makes it even more suspicious that I don't care, sir. I'm going to say 3 days. Do you think she never went to the bathroom? Like, how does your DNA stay there for days on it? I'm telling you right now, this is going to be the thing that will be so damning to the prosecution's case, because any reasonable juror is going to sit down and go, wait a minute.
Yeah, to me, it wasn't making sense. And now hearing him say things like, at some point later, 20 years later, I realized I made a mistake and it was 10 days. No, your initial prior statements were close in time.
Yes.
And you hadn't seen her in 10 days. And now this is why you having your lines and details so straight on direct examination versus contrast right now, to me, stuff like that is compelling.
Yep.
Because why don't you know this with the same detail? Well, I thought it was 10, but then I realized, I had stopped by after work one of those days, so it was really 6. But I mean, still, when Bigham approached me about it, it still seemed like it was outside her window, and I can't explain that. You can have a very genuine answer to not being able to explain something. Because then we could just say, hey, if this was believable, DNA was floating around, maybe it just got there somehow. Who knows how things work? But this denial and then switching your story, it calls to question your entire credibility.
I'll also say that what calls to question is him denying that he was with her at all in that period of time. I mean, he could have completely walked away from this and said, yeah, I went there and we, her birthday was the next day. We had a quick hookup and, I headed on my way and went to work the next day or went home to my parents.
We had an encounter at a restaurant.
Anything. It was her birthday. I gave her a quickie in the car or whatever, but oh my goodness. But the fact that he's trying to distance himself so much from it is so telling to me.
Crazy. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Tatum. You're not confusing 10 days with a weekend.
Nope.
And you're not going to confuse, like, you thought it was 10. Because he said something in his wording that was like, it's always been, from the beginning, I've said. I wish we had closed captions so I could find it easily. But his language, like, from the beginning, I've always said.
Yeah, it was something.
There's been no foundation laid that Mr. Melton's aware of these things. That would all be through GBI crime lab witnesses who do have personal knowledge and scientific information. And so there's no foundation for these questions, and he's asking for things that are outside of Mr. Melton's personal knowledge. He's asking about things.
I would object to a speaking objection, Your Honor, and just ask the state to state the ground.
Okay, I'm going to overrule that objection. He was just explaining his objection. I'm going to respond in the same way as the last objection. I'm going to sustain the objection as to the form of the question, allow you to rephrase if you choose to do so.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. Would you agree that in order for your DNA to drain into Ms. Baker's anus, you would have to have sex with her? Can we agree on that point?
Agree.
Okay. Did you have sex with Miss Baker the day of her death?
No, sir.
The last time you saw Miss Baker, was it 6 days before or 10 days before?
From the beginning, I've said I saw her the weekend prior.
From the beginning, you've said that?
Yes, sir.
That you've seen her the weekend, and that has always been what you said.
There was a time that I was confused, and it was 20 plus years later. And then I made a statement that I felt like maybe it was 10 days prior, and I was confused at that point because I have always said from even meeting with the detectives from the beginning that we were together that weekend. And then time had gone by, and I had even spoke out publicly for the first time.
Mr. Melton, to my question, is that a yes or a no?
He's in the middle of providing his answer. Again, the witness has a right to answer Mr. Cruz's questions in the manner that he believes.
Yeah, but he
the
can't
answer should be given.
pontificate.
It's non-responsive, Your Honor, and I would ask the state to stop the speaking objections because they are coaching the witness in the middle of his testimony.
Okay, I'm going to overrule that objection, and I'm going to sustain the state's objection. This witness is allowed to respond to your question, and if he's in the middle of responding, no one can interrupt. You may continue if you choose to do so.
So you cannot object to
Well,
non-responsive.
time had gone by.
Is what she's saying.
And then I had spoken publicly at this point. I have stated over and over again that we were together the weekend
look at the
before.
tree. Make it really.
And then there was a point in time that Tara's mother had stated that she was at her house.
I'm going to object to hearsay.
I am going to sustain that objection.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I don't want to send the jury out, but I would like to approach to understand the parameters
approach.
of which I could.
We all would like to know, Mr. Cruz. We don't understand
Yeah.
the parameters either. The parameters are whatever is best for the prosecution.
Yeah, I was gonna say the parameters are only on one side.
Well,
All
I
right,
can
so we
tell
have,
you,
one approach. One approach.
I can tell you at lunch break, I'm happy to do a dramatic reenactment of Mr. Cruz trying to cry on the stand.
You mean Melton?
Oh, who did I say?
Cruz.
Yeah, Mr. Melton. Yes, Chris Melton.
We could always do one of these.
One lick was exchanged. Zach hit Shane. Dinsmore pulls up. Dinsmore comes outside.
Girl, you
My
can't do
favorite,
that.
most credible witness.
You can't do that. It was taking a drink.
I came into today like, hey, there could be someone from the law firm. Anybody else could have done this. You know, all these other options. But his testimony is making me think more that this is the guy that actually did it.
Me too.
I need the bank video. I need the alibi. And I don't know how compelling that's going to be for me because I don't know what time the fire started. I know the state's trying to give an explanation to narrow down the window, but I don't know. Oh, they quieted us again.
Indeed, they did. That was like a dog, Mr. Dog Bates kind of question. Sir, why aren't you crying?
Or a Dana McClendon question.
Exactly. Oh boy. What are we arguing here?
He's still
Is the
swinging,
pros-
Dizzy. Cruz is cut off at the knees, but he is still
Oh, no,
swinging.
He is going for the rooftops. I
They're going to
love
handcuff
it.
him. He's going to be there with his shoulders.
He'll be kickboxing.
Your current residence, I won't say your address, but your current residence is the same residence that your parents stayed in 2001. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And at that time, you stayed in the basement. Is that correct?
At
What?
that time, I would have been on the second story.
Forgive me.
Bedroom.
I asked that question wrong. The week before Tara's death, you went to your parents' home. Is that correct?
That's correct.
During that time, you stayed in the basement. Is that right?
No, sir. I think it was in my old bedroom in the second story.
Course indulgence, Your Honor.
Oh, impeach him.
Oh boy.
Impeach him. Bring out a statement.
Oh boy. I was a basement monster. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Michigan, basements are all over the place. So it's okay. Some of them are really nice. Mine was. I made it a nice little home for myself. While I lived with mom and dad for a short period of time.
Aaron says they let me go upstairs sometimes.
Yeah, I had nephews that would stand at the top of the stairs because I had convinced them that Timmy lived in the basement with me and that they shouldn't upset him.
Yeah, don't bother me down here. There's monsters.
Exactly. Don't go in the basement. Timmy's down there. He doesn't like when there are visitors. I have to approve them. They'd be like,
oh, he's pulling something up, I think.
Oh,
boy.
This isn't the first time you've been asked that question, is it?
We got a prior
Can't quite
statement.
remember.
Okay. Do you recall on May 5th, 2024, being asked where you resided when you went to your parents' home the week before Miss Baker's death?
I don't recall the question.
Say that one more time. You don't recall what now?
I don't recall.
Being asked that question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you recall making the statement? So I was working there and driving back and forth. Well, my parents, we had a furnished basement. So then that's where I was. Do you recall making that statement?
I don't recall making the statement, but it seems okay.
Judge, I move to introduce
So he just said this in 2024. And now he doesn't remember it.
Doesn't remember. Interesting.
And it seems like he would have said that, I was staying there every night. I wasn't at my apartment. That was closer.
As defense exhibit number 32, Mr. Melton's May 5th, 2024 interview with Miss Elizabeth Bigham. Minute mark is 1442 through 1448. And before I introduce this, you do recall speaking with Miss Bigham, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Your Honor, I would ask to play minute mark 1442 through 1448 into the record.
All right. Any objection from the state?
I don't think any of the foundation for proper admission has been laid. However,
He just identified when it was.
If this is
He just said he remembers speaking to these detectives on that date.
What foundation is missing? We're all clear on what we're getting ready to hear. What?
Man.
He's going
Is
to have to
that-
lay more.
Yeah, probably.
interview, the state would stipulate to the foundation for the admissibility.
Stipulate.
Can you all confer about whether that's accurate since you're offering to stipulate?
If you're going to stipulate, why would you object, you
All right. You
jackwagon?
may proceed. And it is, are you asking to admit it, Mr. Cruz?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
That portion.
And just that portion. Mr. Yellowman-Chili, are you objecting to what Mr. Cruz has just offered into evidence? That particular disc.
I don't have a transcript pulled up, Judge, but accepting Mr. Cruz's representation that what he's going to play is the answer that he just asked Mr. Melton about that he didn't recall, I don't have any objection
All
to
right.
that.
And it is at that minute mark that the defense has just articulated is admitted.
What
You said
was
that
the
was what-
point of all of that?
1442.
Thank you.
To be dramatic and maybe realizing halfway he had no objection because he just said
A lot of
when
times-
the conversation took place.
A lot of times he doesn't have an objection. Mr. Cruz will be like, I need clarification on what the objection
look at
is.
co-counsel. Co-counsel's like,
He's
yeah,
like,
got him.
Oh, we need to know that man's name. He's a spirit animal.
Hold on, I had it up. It's hold on. I might have put it in the description, I might not. Justin Hill.
Justin Hill. Well, Mr. Hill, welcome.
And his office is on Peachtree Street in Atlanta. We're going to call this Impeachment Street today.
Hey,
That's
yes.
where we are.
Mr. Hill on Impeachment Street.
I want to see him impeach somebody. Slim Life, thank you for being a member for 6 months. Don't apologize. Hope you've been doing well. Always good to see you when you can spend time with us. I think this is the perfect day to hang out with us, even if you're new to this case. We've got the third-party culprit on the stand. It is not going well. Also says, have a blessed day and week. Right back at you. I'll be in and out. Love y'all. We love our workers and lurkers in the bushes. Big love to you, Slim Life and Jay. And Factual Lie with 20 months. Holy moly. 20 months. Says, don't forget to do the YouTubey things. Thank you, Factual Lie. Let's get this impeachy McPeachment going.
It is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And you said that was what, Mr. Cruz? I'm sorry, 14?
1442
Thank you. Go ahead.
through 1448.
Okay.
Objection stipulation is still crazy.
Right. If you were going to stipulate to it, why were you objecting at all? Like, I don't get it. What was the point? I am not an attorney, but that makes absolutely no sense to me.
It was a never mind. Oops.
Uh-huh. It was, I object, this is bad for my case. Oh, I'll stipulate. Yeah, I saw someone posted, can you tell me how to get to Impeachment Street?
Got it?
Working there and driving back and forth. Well, my parents, that we had a finished basement. So then that's where I was keeping, well, pretty much Jersey, that we had a finished basement. So then that's where I was keeping, well, pretty much Jersey.
Oh.
He's speaking quickly there in 2024.
Oh, yeah. He's a clipping along. There's no southern slowness there.
Why'd they play it twice?
Yeah, you should be taking a big old sigh up on that witness stand, sir.
There and driving back and forth. Well, my parents, that we had a finished basement. So then that's where I was keeping, well, pretty much Jersey.
Okay, did you hear that? I was driving back and forth. We pretty much had a huge basement. That's where I was keeping, and then I cut the audio off.
I hear that.
So you were staying in the basement, is that correct?
I would stay in, there's times I stay in both. We had finished basement and had the bedroom upstairs.
Okay.
And the furnished basement was set up as a place to stay, a place to hang out for whoever.
Objection,
and also had my,
non-responsive.
Overruled.
So,
You may continue with your.
the finished basement would have like a couch, sofa, TV, things, in my old bedroom upstairs also had a bed and so forth, and I would stay and hang out in one, stay in the other, depending on who was there at the time, if we had visitors or whatnot. So I would stay in the basement if nobody else was using it.
you're under narrative.
I'm going to overrule the objection.
Yes, ma'am.
You may continue.
So
Wow.
with that being said, I feel like kind of both are true. I had my old bedroom and they had a furnished basement.
I'd like to show you what's been marked as Defense Exhibit 33 and Defense Exhibit 34.
Do we have another statement?
Let the record reflect that I'm showing Mr. Melton what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 33 and Defense Exhibit 34.
Is the basement not finished?
The fact that he could be in either location in the home, I don't know how they would know how his parents would know whether he was
Mr.
home or
Melton, you
not.
recognize Defense Exhibit 33 and Defense Exhibit 34 as
Great point.
And he had an apartment he could be staying at that they wouldn't be
photographs from
alarmed
your
if he
house. Is
didn't
that
come
correct?
home.
An
correct.
only child.
Okay, and I believe Defense Exhibit 33 is the side of your house, and Defense Exhibit 34 is the back side of your house. Is that right?
That's
That's where
correct.
they're going,
Your Honor, I
misdemeanor.
would move to. Oh, have those photographs been altered in any way?
No,
And that's a fair and accurate depiction of your home. Is that correct?
correct.
And I would move to admit Defense Exhibit 33 and Defense Exhibit 34 into evidence.
No objection.
They are admitted.
Now, Mr. Melton, you would agree there's a reason why you would say that you were staying in the second story of the house, correct?
As far as
As there's a back door exit on the basement. I believe that's Defense Exhibit 34, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
There's a basement exit.
Even
yes, sir.
worse.
And there's also a side exit from the basement, which was Defense Exhibit 33. Is that correct?
There's one exit. There's a door on the backside that goes into like a dead space that's more for access.
So Defense Exhibit 34, the backside is a door to enter and exit the basement where you don't have to go in the house. Is that right?
The side door would be. The back door is not.
But either way, there's an exit there's an exit from the basement and an entrance into the basement. Is that right?
That's correct.
Now, you recall your parents talking to law enforcement?
They did.
And they were one of your alibi witnesses. Is that right? Were you aware of that?
I would say yes. They knew I was there.
Can you say yes or no?
I am.
And by the time law enforcement spoke with him, you had been staying with him for 4 months. Is that correct?
4 months?
I had started staying with them after this incident. Yes. So, yes.
After Tara's passing?
That's correct.
So if any other witness said you moved home months before, that would be untrue.
That's correct.
Oh, we're gonna go to impeachment street again.
I want to talk to you about Miss Baker a little bit, okay?
Well,
Let's switch gears and come back.
I don't know about impeachment. I think that's to establish that you were probably at the apartment during the week of Tara Baker's death.
Yes.
And now you're only changing that story once you realize you needed to distance yourself further west.
And have someone vouch for where you actually were, which they really can't.
Yeah.
I mean, if there is an entrance and exit in the basement and he said like door wall or something, that means it's a walkout. A walkout basement?
Yeah, where you have like there's a walkout door and then there might be that thing where there's like a staircase and a different door, like a little vestibule before you go in another door.
I'm curious to see the picture because I think that there's like a door that maybe you could go in and out of, but there's actually a door wall.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's both.
Glass.
And he was trying to be like, oh, it's not really a direct door because you have to go through two doors for the one entrance. Yeah. And then Cruz is like, well, the other one's still one door, right? Oh yeah. I think this is not looking good. I mean, and again, this is the type of thing that even if the state produces a video of this guy at the bank ATM at 9:10 in the morning, that's only going to make me wonder, when was the fire actually set?
I think it could have been set a long time before.
Because I think, didn't the woman who never was asked to look at pictures or do the sketch, who saw the white guy running, wasn't that at like 7:45 in the morning?
I feel like it was. And I also feel like the sniff witness, he said it was around 8 o'clock that he smelled smoke.
I think maybe like
remembering that wrong?
8:50, but for him to smell it at that point, it's enough that it's leaving the house and not dissipating enough to get to his home.
So he could have absolutely made that timing work. Yeah, because remember, dude said, "Oh, I opened my window to get some fresh air." Dude, you were gonna smoke a doobie. Who are you kidding? You're in your 20s. You and your buddies are in your apartment together. 8:45, 8:50. Yeah, even so, that I think that the evidence in the testimony has not disproven that it would be impossible for him to have been there. Because this whole Bennett at Nash at 7:30, we don't have anything to corroborate that. Not that I've seen anyway.
I feel like it's so with the Nash testimony, I feel like, because he says that he goes with his friend, they leave around 7:15 and go to Nash Plumbing. That part wasn't on the whiteboard, but he says he like drives with his friend or something, right? His coworker friend that was friends since high school, but the state didn't think it was relevant.
Now it's an employee.
To me, like, the idea that you'd have to give that detail consistently over the years means back then you knew it was important to say you were somewhere at 7:30, 7:45 already. So, and we'll have to see, but I feel like the ATF guy, even though the state was trying to say, here's all these reasons why the fire might not be blazing through the roof as quickly as one might expect. It was humid outside. There was a lot of moisture. There was no ventilation. I still don't feel like we had the information needed for that guy to pinpoint a time.
No, I don't either.
He was just giving, it could happen that way.
And
So
we think we know what blanket was used. We're not exactly sure on the material of the blanket that was supposedly used to set the fire.
and they don't
I-
collect that? Like they didn't collect, like how do they not have that blanket in evidence? Or was it like so burned that they didn't have a reliable piece of fabric
it's
to analyze?
possible. And so they only went by the roommate's recollection of what was there and what was missing. I guess that would be the only way that they could have done it, because I would think that it would have been completely consumed.
Yeah, and
So,
the other thing, Tatum says he set that fire to destroy evidence.
mhm.
I'm also not sure that if the two roommates went out of the town the night before, Tara was at the library, who's to say that he didn't do the other things, fight her the night before, and then go back at a different time to set the fire?
Set the fire.
Because, like, then we don't even need to explain how he would do all of the acts in a narrow time window if he
Mhm.
could have separated them in time.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. I am at way reasonable doubt right now, because this guy's
yeah.
looking really good for it.
Yeah, and this is kind of the danger of pointing to the third party suspect, but like this is actually really compelling. I don't think the defense really needs to do much more. Like, this guy, there's a good chance this guy could have done it, rather than saying somebody else besides my client. I don't think it's really that bad that the defense is pointing the finger at one person right now.
I don't either.
Oh man, chat. You guys were not wrong when you said, let's go, it's Melton Day, when the chat was here before I got here. This is a time. So he's switching topics now. He's going something about Tara.
I want to talk to you about Miss Baker a little bit, okay? We'll switch gears and come back to some of this stuff.
Well, assuming Tara.
Would it be fair to describe Miss Baker as super friendly?
That'd be a fair statement.
You would also describe her as down to earth?
Correct.
She did not have any racial biases?
No, sir.
And although
That's
she was a
important.
law student, you would agree that she was not pretentious?
I mean, no, sir. Not unless it's for little specialty things like her collections of things, but no.
Now, is it fair to describe Miss Baker as a casual dresser, shorts, hiking boots, sweat top type of girl?
Yes, sir.
She was more of a flats over heels kind of girl. Is that fair to say?
Fair to say.
Okay. And she had more of on her day-to-day appearance, she had more of a casual appearance that did not include daily makeup. Is that right?
I would say, light makeup, if any.
Weird.
I'd like to
Weird
show you
response.
what would be marked as Defense Exhibit 35. Your Honor, I'd like to approach the witness to show him Defense Exhibit 35.
The photo of Tara?
Do you
I'm glad he
recognize
gets
the
his
photo of
numbers
Miss
in order.
Baker?
It's Miss Baker. Miss Tara.
And is that how Miss Baker, makeup-wise, hair-wise, is that how she carried herself mostly on a daily basis?
I'll say yes.
Right, and that's the fair, accurate depiction of Miss Baker as you would remember her.
I'll say yes, sir.
Okay. Your Honor, I would move to admit Defense Exhibit 35 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
It is admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now I'd like to ask you about the times that you visited Miss Baker's home in Deer Park. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right. Is it fair to say that you've probably visited Deer Park more times than you could count?
She wasn't there a terribly long time, but I would say, yeah.
Sir.
We've been there many times.
Okay. And during the times that you visit Ms. Baker's apartment, you see normal foot traffic. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
And that foot traffic was due to a Walmart being on the opposite side of the neighborhood. Is that correct?
I'd say there's a Walmart. Yes, sir. And
Now, the majority of that foot traffic
Was he
it
gonna say something else?
African-Americans walking. Is that fair to say?
it's fair to say.
And those African Americans were typically in the late teenage, young adult range. Is that correct?
I would say it would vary, but I would say young teenagers, I would say.
Now, in regards
I'd be like, do the black men typically walk and the white men run in the early morning?
to Ms. Baker's passing, on January 19th, you testified that you went to the scene of Ms. Baker's death.
That's correct.
And while at the crime scene, you were asked to identify Ms. Baker.
That's correct.
Okay, and you were shown a single photo of Ms. Baker. Is that right?
That's correct.
Oh, I'd love to see the photograph that he was shown. I'm sure that's what he's pulling out.
Yeah, it had to be like a Polaroid or something, right?
Something like that.
Well, they had digital.
I mean, they had
cameras
digital
then.
back then, yeah. They weren't
And I let the record
common.
reflect that I'm showing the state what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 36. Let the record reflect that I'm showing Mr. Melton what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 36.
Oh, it is definitely a photograph that he's taken up there.
Is it to see if he cries?
You recognize that photo?
I don't believe it's the photo I saw.
This was the photo that you were
Foundation.
shown to ask to identify Ms. Baker.
No,
This was not the
I
photo.
don't believe that was the photo.
Oh,
You described the
boy.
photo that you were shown to identify Ms. Baker.
Even better. Oh, this is a gift.
I believe that her head was turned slightly. And there was coverage that
Mr. Melton, you're just shown photograph of Ms. Baker ceased. You're just shown photograph of Ms. Baker ceased, and you have not shed a tear.
I knew it.
no.
He's trying.
I think I need a moment. Like,
Sure.
Now you need a moment after being called out for not crying.
Oh, this guy. I would love to be sitting in that in that courtroom right now, looking at that jury, because that jury
Look at the
has
judge.
everything you need to know.
okay.
Okay.
So let's switch gears.
Let's
While we're
switch
here.
gears.
You testified on direct examination that you became so upset that you punched the wall in your apartment. Is that correct?
When the emotions when I unleashed the emotions, yes.
Okay.
He
And when
still
you
has the
unleashed
slow
the
voice
emotions, you
on.
became extremely angry. Is that correct?
I was upset. Yes, that would. I was upset at the situation.
And the way you chose to release your emotions through violence. Would you agree?
Oh, good line of questioning.
Towards that wall.
But you told the jury that the injuries to your hands came from punching the wall. Is that right?
My injuries came from punching the wall.
Okay. And we've already agreed. Well, you've testified that the wall was sheetrock. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I'd like to show you what would be marked as.
The hands.
Is he going to show the hands, or is he going to
He's
have a
gotta
picture of
show
the wall?
hands. No, he's got to show the hands.
Defense Exhibit 37. Defense Exhibit 38.
The 3 photos.
Defense Exhibit 39.
Do we have more? Do we have the picture of his body?
And Defense
Possible.
Exhibit
Oh
40.
yeah, because there was a motion about that, wasn't there?
Let the record
before
reflect
the
that I am
trial?
showing the state what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 37 through Defense Exhibit
40?
40.
Okay.
Cameraman,
So we have
please,
4.
there you go.
Deep breath, deep breath. Into the microphone.
I know, like what the heck? And let me
Your Honor,
just.
let the record
Well,
reflect
oh
that
wait.
I'm showing Mr. Melton what has been marked as Defense Exhibit 38 through Defense Exhibit 40.
I have 37 also.
I'm sorry, 37
Go ahead.
through 40. Please forgive me. Is it okay if I approach you, Mr. Melton?
Yes, yes, sir.
Even that was dramatic. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Please take a moment and take a look at Defense Exhibit 37 through Defense Exhibit 40.
While he's doing that, what I was going to say is, I lost my father in January of 2024. And if I had to testify about his life, about anything about him, that first year that he was gone, it was very, very difficult for me to discuss it without completely breaking down.
And like an odd detail will do it. Like just like
Always
the
when you
littlest-
least expect it. And Mr. Demeanor, he'll just be like, "Why are you crying?" And I'm like, "I don't know.
I just thought of this thing from 3 years ago.
This is 20 plus years ago for this man, and this was not apparent to him. This was someone that he had a relationship with that sounds like it was kind of rocky there at the tail end. All of these dramatics are completely falling flat for me because I know even now it's been 2 years since my father passed away. I am much more capable of honoring his memory and talking about what a phenomenal man he was and the things that I love to do with him. I would not have been able to do this even a year ago. I would have been like, yeah, we need to change the subject because I would have just been a blithering idiot. And so it's difficult for me.
With like a tear, like at least.
I would be sobbing. And when I cry really hard, then I start gagging, coughing. And so,
the puffy face, all of it.
Oh, yeah. This is not genuine because it's been 20 plus years.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to have some type of super emotive reaction,
No.
but it's like coming out in a delayed fashion. It's lingering on when the topics have shifted. Like we're moving on to different questions and it's like forgets to stop doing the pause and slow down. And I think he's lucky he's not the defendant.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's the dramatics of it that is really kind of pushing me over the edge. Grief is a funny thing because everybody does handle it differently, but this
or maybe you think
time,
like 20 years have passed, I've gotten over it, but the jury won't understand that I've processed it, so I have to I'm nervous that they'll think weird of me if I don't put on, but it still doesn't seem like that either.
No, and I think about, Mr. Demeanor lost his mom in 1998, and when I came on the scene just a couple of years after she had passed away, it was very, very different. He is very able to have lengthy conversations about his mom and, the great qualities she had and what a phenomenal cook and baker she was and just housewife in general and mom. But when it was close to time, no, that was not a conversation we were going to have. And this is very close to the same time frame. And that was my husband's mom. This is weird. Dude, do you need a paper bag up there?
Yeah, and I'm so focused, and the prosecution tunneled my vision to this. People were looking at me, people stopped talking about me. The prosecution gave me a foundation to perceive some of what he's recalling, how he felt then, and what he's delivering today. The prosecution gave me a place to anchor that, and that place to anchor it is a guilty conscience back in the day. I think the prosecution really messed up there.
Oh, I do
Because
too.
I don't think this is like Wendy. I don't think it's like Adelson where the prosecution's trying to get them all one by one. I think the prosecution's genuinely trying to get Faust here. I do not think the prosecution has any desire to look Melton's way. So, but the prosecution's gave me that question and answer line where it's like, oh, everybody was looking at me and angry with me. Did you just think that? Or
right. Yeah, it's his perspective on things is odd, all of it. And Kiss and Pink, I just want to say I'm so sorry for your loss. And I promise you, as someone who has recently gone through it, it does get better.
yeah,
It
you
gets
are
better.
her memory, and we love you. So by extension,
Yep.
we love what your mom was able to do with her
It doesn't
life.
go away, but you find ways to cope in a healthier way.
Well said.
You recognize Defense Exhibit 37 through Defense Exhibit 40 as the wall that you punched. Is that correct?
Oh, we do have pictures of the wall.
I would say yes.
Goody goody
Is that a
gumdrops.
fair and accurate depiction of how that wall looked after you punched it?
I'd say from what I could recollect.
Sure. Has that photograph been altered in any way?
I'm not sure. I wouldn't.
Well, you have no reason to believe that photograph has been altered in any way. Is that correct?
I have no reason to believe.
Your Honor, I would ask to admit Defense Exhibit 37 through Defense Exhibit 40 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
Does he
They are
sound like he's
admitted.
drunk
Thank you, Your
all
Honor.
of
I would
a
ask to
sudden?
publish to the jury.
Granted.
Oh, look at his face.
Ruh-roh, my lie I told a little earlier about hitting the cinder block on the other side.
And what if it's only one thing and not like 40
Let's talk about the injuries
punches?
to your hands, Mr. Melton.
Yes, sir.
Yes, let's.
Court's indulgence.
Oh, indulge away. Yeah, I want to see the picture of the wall.
And the photographs of your hands have already been admitted through, as Defense Exhibit 29, electively. And Your Honor, I just asked you to republish the photographs of the hands to the jury.
Granted.
The hand over his head. There's some distance there now.
It's okay.
Court's indulgence, Your Honor. I need one of these photographs.
Oh, you
I
praying,
am
but
going
it's
to
not for
show
what
you one of
everybody
the
thinks.
photos from Defense Exhibit 29, and we're going to talk about some of these injuries.
Yeah, let's do it.
His face. Oh my goodness! I'm not supposed to laugh at
All right.
trials.
Can you see your
Like,
hands
come
on the screen, Mr. Melton?
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Camera.
show
And
us,
you
show
would
us, show us, show us.
agree, for the purposes of the record,
Oh,
I
this
am
is
making a
clearer.
fist. Mr. Melton, you would agree that a fist looks like this. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you make a fist and show the jury what your fist looks like? Okay, excellent. I want to talk about this injury here on
He's going to ask how, I think Lockong Express was asking in the chat, how do you explain this if you were
Uh-huh.
punching with a fist?
the side of your
Shout out
thumb.
to Lockong.
Can you explain how you got that injury from punching drywall?
My hands are from work.
Are they?
I mean, no, I'm saying my hands from work are naturally have nicks and such on them.
A fresh
That
one?
very well could have occurred. I mean, from punching
In 2
through
days?
a wall, there's also things inside the wall. There's siding on the wall that has, once you go through, there's nails that may have been there. But at that point, I mean, I have little nicks and cuts just from my profession.
But Mr. Melton, isn't it fair to say as a plumber you wear gloves?
No, sir.
You never wear gloves.
I wear gloves, but not 100% of the time. No, sir.
Well, I showed you Defense Exhibit 37 through Defense Exhibit 40. There's a pair of gloves hanging on your wall, Mr. Melton,
Hanging on my wall.
but you don't use them.
When you're working with your hands, you work quickly also. and you don't have time to always have gloves on. And at that point in time, I'm not working with raw sewage or anything. This is new materials. So with that being said, you not worried about bacteria or anything infecting your hands. You just work through it.
So today, on February 9th, 2026, you remember exactly how you were working on January 19th, 2001.
It's easily to assess because I worked it for so long.
Sure. But you don't remember whether or not Ms. Baker told you she was going to be home alone the day before her death.
We keep coming back to
There were
it.
moments under stress. I can't recall everything.
So let me ask you about this injury here. So did this come from the wall or did that come from work?
Is that an injury?
Right here.
Sir.
I don't know if I...
Or how about this
Is that
injury here, Mr. Melton? How would you get this injury on the top of your hand going in this direction from punching sheetrock?
That even appears...
Oh my.
Oh, yes. Even when you punch through walls, you got to pull your hand back. I'm punching into a wall, pulling my hand back, punching through a wall. And even at work,
Drywall
I
doesn't do
have
that.
nicks, cuts, and even burns from soldering pipes and hot materials. I can't tell if that's an injury from hitting something or
Now he's got to come up with something hot that could have touched his hands.
injury from work, and it may look like that even looks like it could be even a slight solder. It's hard to say. I mean, it's hard for me to assess that.
But this is the first time in 25 years that you've ever made the statement that these injuries were from work. Would you agree?
I've never been asked the question as far as if they're from.
We're back
And
to
just to make
never
sure we're
been
on the-
I
asked
can
the
recall.
question.
Just to make sure we're on the same page. Your exact statement was to law enforcement is the injuries. Matter of fact, we don't even have to go to law enforcement. Your exact statement in the court before these jurors was that these injuries came from punching the wall in your apartment. Do you recall making that statement?
Was this prior to being shown pictures?
Mr. Melton, do you recall
Is this the first
making
time you
that
saw these
statement?
pictures?
Yes, I had injuries from my hands from hitting the wall. That's what I recall.
But when I
Told
asked
the
you
jury.
about the injuries, you are now saying that they are from plumbing and hitting the wall. Is that right?
Well, when you're pointing out specific things, like I do have from plumbing, you're going to have nicks and cuts or whatnot from that. Just
My question is, during my examination of you, this is your first time saying that these injuries are from plumbing. That's a yes or no question, if you can.
since you just asked that question, I guess I would have to say yes. And
Yeah.
Once the jurors finish looking at the photos, we'll go over some other photos as well. Now, on the day of Tyra's death, you voluntarily went to the Athens-Clarke County Police Department.
that's correct.
Okay. And I believe the state asked you a couple of times, did you hire a lawyer or did you refuse to speak to him? Wouldn't you agree as the boyfriend, if you refused to speak to him, you would look even more guilty?
Rephrase
good
restate the
question.
question.
Sure. The state asked you on direct examination multiple times about whether or not you got a lawyer or whether or not you refused to talk to him. Do you recall being asked that question?
Yes.
Okay. When you agree
Ay, ay, ay.
as Ms. Baker's boyfriend, you would look more suspicious if you refused to talk to law enforcement.
If I refused.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So we agree on that. Is that right?
Of course. I mean, I'm always wanting to be cooperative.
Sure. But that was a yes to my question, right?
Yes.
Okay. You would also agree you would look more suspicious if you refused to give blood. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. You would look more suspicious if you refused to give hair. Is that right?
Correct.
You would look suspicious if you refused to talk to him. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, you conducted an interview with Officer Bill Ricketts on the 19th. Do you recall that interview?
I believe so.
And you state you believe so. Are you certain that you remember conducting?
Yes, I remember an interview on the 19th.
And your father was present with you during that interview. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And he sat with you for the entire interview.
Yes.
Okay. And during that interview is when you told law enforcement that you were at your parents' home at 7:15 on January 19th. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you recall during the interview being asked how would you describe you and Miss Baker's relationship?
Yes.
And your response
my.
is that she was your borderline fiance.
I recollect.
Okay. And you advised him that you and Miss Baker were very serious at the time of her death.
Yes.
I don't think they were. I think he thought they were.
I believe you established with the state that the truck you used for work at the time of Miss Baker's death was your own work truck, the truck you purchased. Is that right?
Correct.
Oh boy. I have a feeling we're going to go back to that easel soon.
Now let's talk about Josh McCourty. The state asked you about your relationship
His
with
friend.
Josh, and you stated that he was just a coworker that you met at McCart Plumbing. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Josh stays less than a mile away from your home. Is that correct?
Correct.
Oh.
Josh knew where you lived. Is that right?
Yes, he worked for me.
Okay. You knew where he lived.
Once we became co-workers.
And you two attended the same high school.
That I'm unsure of.
You're unsure if you attended the same high school with someone you stated was your employee, Mr. Melton?
That's correct.
What is wrong with this guy?
But to law enforcement, you only
Doesn't do background
identified
checks?
Josh McCourty as somebody that you work with. Is that right?
Correct.
Now, you stated on direct examination that while at Nash Plumbing, you loaded up supplies. Is that fair to say?
Correct.
Okay. But at no time did you provide law enforcement with any documents related to your employment at Nash Plumbing. Is that right?
That's correct.
Uh-oh.
So in regards to your alibi that you were at Nash Plumbing at 7:30 through 7:45, we just have to take your word for it. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I would say so at that point.
Yep.
And law enforcement did, in fact, just take your word for it. Is that right?
I'm not sure. I would say to my knowledge.
Sure. Now, you stated after leaving, today you stated after leaving Nash Plumbing, you went to the bank.
Correct.
And did you go over that with the state when you all met?
Here's important questions about this
I
bank.
knew when I had gone to the bank, but yes.
Okay. And you all discussed your timeline before you came to testify here today?
I had gone over it, a refresher.
However, on January 19th, 2001, you told law enforcement after leaving Nash Plumbing you went to Truck Customs. Is that right?
I'm sorry, I may have not heard you all the way. Say it again.
Sure. On January 19th, 2001, when law enforcement asked you what were you doing that day, you told law enforcement that after leaving Nash Plumbing, you went to Truck Customs.
On the 19th, yes, I did say that.
And you advised law enforcement that you arrived at Truck Customs around 9:30 or maybe earlier. Is that right?
Not earlier, probably 9:30ish, 10.
Mr. Melton, this isn't the first time that you've had the opportunity to discuss your whereabouts on January 19, 2001. Is that correct?
I have been questioned in the past,
Okay. And
several times. Is that
And you told or do you recall making the statement, Truck Customs spelled with the K, TRUK, KUSTOM, and you were asked, okay, and do you know about what time it was? You made the statement, first time was about early 9:30, maybe earlier. Do you recall making that statement?
Oh,
seems fair?
So at some point you leave Truck Customs, is that correct?
That's correct.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Melton, do you still have that marker I gave you?
oh,
All right,
here
perfect. Can
we
you
are.
write Truck Customs on that under the bank
Uh-oh.
and the time that you were at Truck Customs? All right, and you can
Back
stay
up
right there,
the
Mr. Melton,
info.
if you're comfortable. You can write
Oh.
the time next to Truck Customs. Okay, so now it's not 9:30, it is 10 o'clock? Okay, let's do 9:30 through 10, just to make sure that's accurate for the jury.
And Judge, I would ask that if there are going to be questions asked, that the witness be allowed to return to the witness stand so he can speak into the microphone.
I think that makes sense so everyone can hear, including Ms. Satterfield. So you may have a seat and answer any questions in front of the microphone. Go ahead.
So at some point you would agree that you leave Truck Customs, is that fair?
That's correct.
Okay. And when you leave Truck Customs, you go to Grayson, Georgia, correct?
Correct. I go to Grayson.
Now, and you can write Grayson on the board for us, please.
We didn't
All
put a
right, so
time.
do you recall speaking with Detective Ricketts 2 days later on January 21st, 2001?
Yes.
This is the guy that
Would
took
you
the
have
pictures.
any reason to disagree that January 21st, 2001 was a Sunday?
No.
So the week time frame.
During your
you
second
wouldn't have
interview, you advised Detective Ricketts that you stopped by the bank. Is that correct?
Yes. Then I had failed to mention that I went by the bank that morning. Yes.
And you stated that you were in the bank for a total of 35 minutes. Is that right?
Oh,
Sounds about right.
Okay.
oh, that makes
Next to
that
bank,
math
can
ain't
you
mathin'.
put 35 MIN and circle it?
Oh, that math is not going to math for us.
Just you put it there. That's fine. Now, during your second interview, do you recall Detective Ricketts coming to you and telling you that he went to speak with someone at Truck Customs?
Yes.
Okay. And in response, before he could tell you what he learned, you would agree that you changed your answer about the time that you went to Truck Customs. Is that correct?
I'm not sure. Not.
Do you recall making the statement, it's like before 12? I mean, it was probably 10:30, 11:30. Do you recall making that statement?
I don't recall the statements, but yeah, I would say. I mean, I would say okay. Yes.
Yes or no, Mr. Melton? Do you recall making that statement?
I'll say yes. Yeah. Yes.
Ooh, Lock Hong expresses the cut on the thumb could have been her tooth. Thank you for the super Lock Hong.
I want to know about this bank visit that took 35 minutes. He obviously had to have gone inside the branch.
And then I it's just my gut feeling that Cruz wouldn't be going down this route if there was a video of him inside this bank at 35 minutes. So I just don't
Yeah.
think that a video was ever returned over to the defense.
I would agree with that. I think
And
that
the best we're going to get is witnesses at the bank that were like, yeah, we remember who he is. He used to come in the bank.
right.
Which doesn't narrow down to that time and that time window, that date and time.
35 minutes is a long time to be in a branch.
Oh, and just remember, so he's speaking with Detective Ricketts. He's like an advocate type officer on the Sunday, the 21st. But he's telling Ricketts on the 21st about where he was on the 19th, the Friday. So the incident happened on a Friday.
Correct.
Thank you, KLF. I'll put this on the screen.
So is it fair to say that the actual time is between 10 a.m. and 11:30 on the 19th?
His handwriting.
Based on your statement?
As far as being at Truck Customs,
Yes, sir.
and you stated what you did say. What did you just say? I'm sorry.
Would it be fair to say that the actual time of being at Truck Customs is sometime between 10 a.m. and 11:30 a.m.?
That's pretty broad, but yeah, I would say, okay, it would fit in there.
I don't know where this dude did any
Now,
work
during the
so
January
far.
21st, 2001 interview, you were told for the first time that Ms. Baker was sexually assaulted. Is that fair?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. During the January 21st, 2001 interview, you were told that Tara was probably sexually assaulted.
What is he looking at?
I don't recall being told at that point. I had been told Adam, Tara's brother, had called me that morning and had kind of informed me that this is what we're looking at, that they had been informed.
So let me ask the question again. On January 21st, 2001, you knew that Tara had been sexually assaulted. Is that right?
At that day, yes, I had been informed that day.
Now, law enforcement also informed you of that. Do you recall?
I don't recall.
Would hearing the recording refresh your recollection?
I would say if I heard it, it would help reflect. Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask to refresh this witness's recollection outside the presence of the jury.
Right, and this is a good time for a restroom break, so I'm going to send you all into the jury room. This will be a good restroom break, so we'll take a little bit of time. Please don't discuss the case.
All right.
boy.
So, and
we're-
I was looking back before they get into this outside the presence of the jury when we had, what was the guy's name? Cross-examination, David Griffith with the GBI. My notes, it seems like when he got into a discussion, Griffith tried to volunteer. It wasn't just family members we spoke with in May, it was 2 bank employees. So my current impression from the available testimony is that any corroboration about being at this bank is a conversation with 2 different bank employees 4 months later. And if there's more, that might come out when a different detective is called. But so far, Griffith is who we had on the stand discussing these things.
And I can tell you, even months later, whoever the teller was that handled, I might have a little experience with this, whoever the teller was that handled the transaction, if there was an approximate time, and generally if he went in all the time to do his banking, they would know him, and they could easily go back and check their teller work and see what time he was in there to confirm that, yes, indeed, he was here on such and such day. So,
Yeah,
I
my
would,
question would be, do we get any tangible corroboration?
because I can tell you, even as far back as 1987, when I worked in banking and I was a teller, it would put a time on the receipt. And there was a record of it within my own teller window when I would run transactions. So there should be no dispute as to the specific time that he was there.
Agreed. We've got a shocked hippo from Kelly Bean over here, and we have another sticker over on Miss Janet Demeanor's chat. I can't see what it is, though, so I just have to leave that one to Miss Janet.
Another one. Let me see if I can find it.
Thank you, Kelly. Love your dog. Very adorable. Did anybody watch the Puppy Bowl yesterday?
I did not.
It's very adorable.
Sadly, I'll catch up on it, though.
Very adorable.
Well, thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kelly. All right, so we have outside the presence of the jury here. I could put up my
Going to
little
take a break
picture.
as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, they're going to take an
You want
actual
me to
break.
wait before I play it after the break?
Yes, sir. I think that would be best.
Put this up anyway. And we'll travel.
I would want to know. It's possible on a Friday back in, when was this, 2000, that it would take a long time for
Just
him
the
to be
phone call
standing
related
in
to-
line at a branch, because that was back, we didn't have the luxury of online banking. Debit cards even then were relatively new. We still worked in a lot of cash society even in 2000. So
And I mean, anybody could go to the bank for you too. Like,
well,
with a
that's
slip
true
and-
too. Yep.
So-
Getting cash back would have presented an issue because it would have had to have been him.
Yeah.
But if he went to the ATM, it wouldn't take 35 minutes, and he could have likely deposited his check and gotten cash back at that point. So, and we don't know whether he had an account there or if
doing
he,
it for Nash or like a business account.
well, and that's what I was going to say. He could have gone to Nash's bank to cash the check, but he says deposit. So it sounds like he had an account there to deposit and then get cash back. But 35 minutes is a long time. I would think customer service surveys would not be very good to have to take 35 minutes. Oh, and Loganville was a very small city in 2001. Well, that makes it even less likely it was there for 35 minutes.
Yeah,
So-
good context there. Let me
Yeah.
unbuffer this.
Back then, it was, people went to the bank more than what they do now.
Well, I like that you can deposit a check on your phone.
All right, we're running a little
Oh,
behind.
heck
I had
yeah.
to take an emergency phone call related to Chief Judge duty, so I apologize for the delay, but we'll go back on the record.
Ma'am, we don't
Mr.
care.
Cruz, are you ready for the jury to come in? Okay. Oh, that's right. Of course. All right. Are you ready to begin that? All right. Very good, sir. Go ahead.
She's jolly right now.
Oh, he's huffing already.
How long was that break? So wait.
It seemed like it was long.
Like 30 minutes?
I do see that Nick Stero was also commenting on devastation I may
35
have
minutes.
caused, devastation they may have caused, and devastation it may have caused.
Yeah, I think I could have heard they, but it did sound like it could have been I, and
Yeah, it is definitely a Murdoch moment.
a large portion of the chat, I would say 3/4 of the chat had like a guttural reaction to him
Yes.
saying that. And I would imagine that someone on the jury had that same reaction and heard it the same way. Maybe it sounds different in the courtroom. But if it sounds unclear and people make that conclusion, that's not a very good thing to hear if you are the state. Like,
Yeah,
oh.
that was sketchy.
Was it the prosecution calling her for the emergency?
All right, just for purposes of the record, let the record reflect that
He is
the
the
last
chief
question
judge,
asked
by
to
the
Mr.
way.
Melton was during the January 21, 2001 interview. And I'm going to state it how I said it. You were told that Tara was probably sexually assaulted. At this time, we're refreshing his recollection. We were playing Chris Melton's January 21st, 2001 recorded interview. Minute mark 11:51 to 12:02 for purposes of refreshing Mr. Melton's recollection.
I thought she was going to yank that Kmart microphone over there and start asking if the state objected.
Oh, it reverted. Well, it's on lawyer right. Oh, thank you.
Oh, wait, it might come in louder. But if we need to, we'll turn it up.
Hi, Mr. Melton. I'd like you to listen to this and let me know if your memory is refreshed. If you need to hear any other portions of it, I don't mind playing, okay?
Phlebotomists and that kind of blood people there, they take it, store it, put in evidence, and then on Monday morning, we've got a good working relationship. They'll start right away for us and tell us exactly what we've got.
Oh my. The suspense is killing me. He looks miserable on the witness
Did their
stand.
thing Saturday, and of course on the weekend there's none of the phlebotomists and that kind of blood people there. They take it, store it, put in evidence, and then on Monday morning, we've got a good working relationship. They'll start right away for us and tell us exactly what we've got. Tara was probably sexually assaulted.
Oh.
You recall being told that, Mr. Melton?
Oh.
Yes, sir.
All right, Your Honor, the witness's recollection has been refreshed.
All right.
I am ready for the jury to come in.
All right, could you bring the jury in, please, sir? Thank you.
Bring the jury. Yeah, Brian is saying I have more than reasonable doubt. I'm waiting for them to prove the case. This so feels like Karen Reed. I sat through that entire trial waiting like,
Y'all may be seated.
where's the
Ms.
evidence?
Cruz, you have the floor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Now, Mr. Melton, during the January 21st, 2001 interview, you were told that Tara was probably sexually assaulted. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. You would agree that you didn't start crying. Is that correct?
Correct.
You didn't become upset. Is that correct?
I would say not correct.
You said that's incorrect.
Incorrect.
Did you make outward expressions of anger?
No.
You didn't say you needed a moment to yourself, right?
Correct.
You didn't even say, I hope you find who did this before I do, did you?
Correct.
Instead, you asked calmly, did you find some stuff on her like semen? Is that right?
Correct.
What?
Oh, play it.
Oh
Play
man, oh
it.
man.
I mean, I guess you could ask that if you were curious, if you wanted proof that she was actually sexually assaulted because you didn't want to believe it. But why not just say, why do you think that? Like,
That's a
are you
weird thing
serious?
to say. That's a weird thing to say in his position.
Oh boy, chat. Oh.
Did you? You didn't say you needed a moment to yourself, right?
Correct.
You didn't even say, I hope you find who did this before I do, did you?
Correct.
Instead, you asked calmly, did you find some stuff on her like semen? Is that right?
Correct.
Now, at the conclusion of the January 21st, 2001 interview, and I believe you've seen the photographs of your hands, pictures were taken of your hands. Is that right?
Correct.
And I think I have a better version of those hand photos I would like to show you.
Oh,
Oh,
we have,
let us
we have
see
more.
it.
We're just going through the scrapbook today.
Yeah. See, if anyone goes back and listen or watches me in the Donna Adelson trial when I was actually in the courtroom, since you see how I react to things, it was exhausting to sit in there and not do anything.
Oh, yeah, it'd be tough for me. I'd have to sit all the way in the back.
Ooh, it was,
And, like-
I mean, there were still times, and I didn't want to mess with Judge Everett, man. Mm-mm. Exactly, Kelly.
The suspense. He moved away from the hand.
Move away from the hand.
This is going to be marked as Defense Exhibit 41. There are 13 photos in Defense Exhibit 31. It will be a omnibus exhibit, photos or better quality photos of Mr. Melton's hands.
Better quality. Can we see
Why did the
whether the
state
hair is
introduce
thin?
that?
I'd just like to clarify the record with Defense Exhibit 29. There are There are 9 photos in Defense Exhibit 29.
Sorry, say that again.
Just for purposes of clarifying the record, for Defense Exhibit 29, there are 9 photos collected in Defense Exhibit 29.
I'm also not so sure that everything was wiped down. If there was a lot of fire prevention or putting the fire
The
out,
washing, yeah.
yeah, it would have wiped away a lot of fingerprints, just the sheer pressure of it. So that's
Yeah.
not very compelling to me.
And if you had trouble hearing, guys, in the first clip of the interview that they played a few minutes ago, you hear the detective, I think his name is Beale, say, you know, and they're wiping down, we'll see what we get back. It's like he's saying that they're testing for the fingerprints, is what I surmised from that first line of the recorded statement.
Let the record reflect that I'm showing Mr. Melton the 13 photos of his hands marked as Defense Exhibit 41.
Are you caught up?
You would agree that Defense Exhibit 41 is. You would agree that Defense Exhibit 41 is the same thing you saw in Defense Exhibit 29. Let me change that. Please forgive me. You'd agree that Defense Exhibit 41 are photographs of your hands. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, and a little bit better quality than Defense Exhibit 29. Would you agree?
I would agree.
Okay, and those photos are a fair and accurate depiction of your hands as they were on January 21st, 2001. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, Your Honor, I would move to introduce Defense Exhibit 41 and the 13 photos included in same into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
They are admitted.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Show us.
Please.
We want to see Mr. Cruz.
Now, after the
Mr. Hill,
photographs were
tell
taken
him,
of
we
your
wanna see
hands, while at the hospital, you did a blood draw as well. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you remember getting that blood draw. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and that's January 21st, 2001.
Correct.
Okay. After you were asked for hair and blood in January, your parents told you they're going after you, Chris. Do you recall them making that statement to you?
Yes.
Now, you discussed with the state the photograph you were shown of Miss Baker to identify her body. Do you recall us talking about that?
Earlier? The one you showed me?
Correct.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. And you stated that that was not the photo that was shown to you to identify her body. Is that right?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I,
Go ahead, Mr. Melton.
I was looking through a digital camera with a small frame, and it was fuzzy, and it's hard to. Anyway, it's not as high quality as what you're showing here, but no.
But we could agree she had a sheet over her body. Is that right?
I believe she had something draped across her. It was at the bottom frame of the digital image.
All right, so I asked you this question. Do you remember telling law enforcement that the photo shown of you, Miss Baker, had a blanket covering her from the neck down? So I saw her face and her hair.
Correct.
And the photo I showed you was a photo of Miss Baker with a sheet covering her from the face down, the neck down, and you saw her face and her hair. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
But we can agree you did not see a black cord wrapped around Miss Baker's neck. Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Oh.
Is he going to know that she was strangled before anybody tells him?
Oh.
Do you recall the police officer interviewing you about you telling Mrs. Virginia Baker that you saw a black cord wrapped around Miss Baker's neck?
Not a black cord wrapped around her neck. No, I don't recall that.
Oh no, y'all.
You don't
I do recall in the original photo that I saw, there was something draped over her, and I could recall seeing something black. I didn't know what it was. But like I say, I don't think that's even the image I saw.
So, Mr. Melton, we're speaking, the specific question I'm asking you, and you might have answered, I just want to make sure I'm clear. In the photograph you saw of Miss Baker, it was her with a sheet from the neck down. Do we agree on that?
The one you showed me, yes.
Okay, not the one I showed you, the one you described to law enforcement.
You said it.
I believe I stated there was something from, I don't know if I said sheet, but like in the digital camera at the bottom section of the frame, it kind of stopped. You could kind of see something laying there.
Oh, sir, the
Sure,
jury
no,
heard what the
Mark,
jury heard. Oh, boy. I am so glad I'm not working today, y'all.
Move to mark the audio recording of Chris Melton with Detective Newton as defense exhibit 42.
Play it.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Danger, sir. Danger. Danger.
Just to make sure we're on the same page before I play this.
What if he pleads the fifth? Just run out of the room.
No, he's too arrogant for that. He's not going to do that. He thinks
Law
he's
enforcement asked you, do you
smart.
remember how much of her was exposed during that, in that picture that you saw? And your response was, they had a blanket covering from the neck down, so I saw her face and her hair, you know. You were asked, okay, you couldn't see any of her body or body parts. Your response was, no, I did not see any of her body. You don't recall making that statement?
I recall.
Now, you testified on direct that this was just a terrible experience for you. It destroyed you. Is that fair to say?
Yes, sir.
And you and I both could agree Ms. Baker's death is a true tragedy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. On Thursday, January 25th, 2001, you went to Miss Ashley Peavy's house. Is that correct?
Oh, boy.
What's the dates?
January 25th, 2001.
Oh, boy.
And this is 6 days after Ms. Baker's death.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And while at Ms. Peavy's home on the 25th, which we've agreed is 6 days after Ms. Baker's death, you called Miss Leah Tucker. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Danger, sir.
And it was after
Danger.
8:15 p.m. It was nighttime. Is that fair to say?
I can recall the time.
That's fair. But you set up a dinner with Miss Tucker at 5:30 p.m. the next day. Do you recall that?
I don't recall that, but it sounds, she was a close past friend. Yes.
All right. And then on January 26th, despite your future fiance being brutally murdered, you called Holly Hufford. Would you agree with that?
I don't remember Holly Hufford, but I do recall someone that was hurting, like as in anguish, but I don't recall who Holly Hufford is.
Oh, because
You remember somebody else hurting and being in anguish?
Everybody around us.
He provides the secure presence.
But you set up a lunch with Holly Hufford for Friday the 26th.
I don't recall.
Okay. But we can agree it wasn't Miss Holly Hufford's fiance that died. It was your fiance, right?
That's correct.
Do you recall Miss Ashley Peavy Hall joining you and Miss Hufford for lunch?
I remember us joining for lunch with someone. If this is Holly, okay, yes.
Okay. And during that lunch, you were flirting with Miss Hufford 7 days after your fiance had been brutally murdered.
Reflected? Is that what you asked?
Flirted.
No.
You did not?
No.
During that lunch, you were gently
That would be
rubbing
in
Miss
poor
Hufford's lower
taste.
back.
No. I recall this individual having an emotional moment, describing what she
Oh,
was.
back to the
So
jury.
It's her that has the emotional moment, not him, Mr. Hero.
He is the one that provides the secure presence, Kat. And now he has to turn to the jury and explain to them what a great guy he is and how fantastic he was for all of these single ladies that were friends of his dear almost fiance.
Crazy.
And during that lunch, you were flirting with Miss Hufford 7 days after your fiance had been brutally murdered.
Reflected? You say, is that what you asked?
Flirted.
No.
You did not?
No.
During that lunch, you were gently rubbing Miss Hufford's lower back.
No. I recall this individual having an emotional moment describing what she was going through. And I realized this person was in pain. And I reached over and I believe I did like a comforting touch to just acknowledge
Oh,
that
you did?
it's okay. They're not okay, but to have her understand that we're all going through this and it's going to be okay.
Would you be surprised if Ms. Hufford said that she was shocked by your actions during the lunch? Would you be surprised if Ms. Hufford said that she was shocked by your actions during the lunch?
I would be surprised.
After lunch, Miss Ashley P.B. Hall and Chris Hall, they left. Do you recall that?
I say vaguely, okay.
And do you recall telling them that you were going to continue hanging out with Holly?
This is a long time ago. I don't really recall this, but it would sound like someone who is, yes, that I would try to comfort, not flirt with or try to set up a date or anything. No.
Well, let me ask you this. On January 27, 2001, isn't it true you tried to comfort Miss Hufford at 10 p.m. At 10 p.m.?
How so?
Did you contact Miss Hufford after 10 p.m. on January 27, 2001?
Phone records.
I could believe I could make a phone call.
Do you think it's appropriate to call women at past 10 p.m. at night after you just lost your fiance?
I'm going to object to the form of the question argumentative.
Sustained.
Yes, ma'am. Didn't you invite Miss Holly Hufford out on the town when you called her past 10 p.m. that night?
Honestly, I don't recall the conversation.
Oh, you know they're bringing her in.
Now, again, we discussed you told this jury how much Miss Baker meant to you, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Do you recall discussing with law enforcement Miss Baker's law school memorial service that was held shortly after her death?
Yes.
And that discussion occurred on June 20th, 2001.
Okay. I'm not sure about the time.
Do you have any reason to disagree that it occurred on June 20th?
No.
Instead of attending Miss Baker's law school memorial service, you went to a country concert, correct?
Correct.
And you knew about the memorial service 4 days before the concert, is that correct?
Correct.
What?
And your stated reason for not going to your fiance's candlelight vigil was because another woman talked you into going into a concert with her. Is that correct?
Correct. Can I give further explanation?
Oh, she's
Well, I
going
have
to
a
let you
question for
talk
That
until
one was
tomorrow.
Lauren Sherling.
I think the witness is asking for some direction.
Redirect
Right. Well,
on
and I
it.
think the record needs to reflect the witness was asking the court a question which is not necessarily appropriate, but based on the state's interjection, I will say this with regard to all witnesses. All witnesses must answer the question if they can, yes or no, and they are entitled to explain. And so I'll let you ask the question again, and if this witness has the opportunity to explain, feels he needs to, he is allowed to by law. But you may ask the question again, Mr. Cruz.
Yes, ma'am. He answered my question, Your Honor. So the question I do have for you is that woman was Lauren. What I do have for you is that woman was Lauren.
Object, Your Honor. I think that the witness is allowed to explain his answer.
And I would ask you to go back to the former question, Mr. Cruz, and we'll go from there.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, go ahead, sir.
The question that I asked you, Mr. Melton, your reason for not going to the candlelight vigil was because another woman talked you into going to the concert.
No, that's not accurate.
That woman was Lauren Sherling.
That is accurate.
Okay.
Can I explain? Do I have the opportunity? Do I?
All witnesses are allowed to answer yes or no and explain their answer if they choose to do
Is
so.
this something
Well,
in
choose
Georgia? I've
Did
never
she-
heard of this before.
Did she just say that on her own, or did someone object quietly there and I didn't hear it?
No, he asked. The witness was like, "Can I explain?" And she jumped in. What in
But
the blue blazes is happening?
she just 1 minute ago said it's inappropriate for the witness to be addressing the court, and now she's not. But now that the state has said something, but now she's doing it again anyway.
Yes. Is this something in Georgia? I don't
Can I explain?
understand this
Do I have the opportunity?
explaining
Do I?
thing.
All witnesses are allowed to answer yes or no and explain their answer if they choose to do so.
Okay. Well, I'll choose to explain. Lauren.
Oh,
was
this
one
is
of
your court now.
Tara's closest
Got
friends that loved Tara
So neither of you went.
She worked with her at the law firm in Athens. That's how they met. They became very close. Along the way, we all became close.
So you didn't even know this person until your soon-to-be fiance introduced you, but now you're going to a country concert with her instead of going to the memorial service? People are strange. I know it happens. I know people, like, there's a term for it, right? When people, like, get together after they lose a partner or whatever, and they start dating the friend.
Right. Yeah, because they're consoling each other. But that's not what I'm picking up on this vibe at all.
Yeah.
He was like, he was in heat after she was gone. Like, found a new avenue to get chicks.
Oh.
This is so gross.
Like, you don't even have that much time to spend with her while she's working at this law firm, but you have enough time to get close to one of the friends that she works with?
And go to a country concert. I want to know who they saw. What country concert was it?
Tell us everything. Yeah, this is a time.
We became very close. Along the way, we all became close. We were all extremely grieving.
In 6 days?
There was a time that we did not see each other as far as physically in proximity. But she would reach out periodically and check in to see how I was doing. She was a very dear friend. She is one of the only few that actually would reach out to see how I was feeling, and then we would converse and we would talk about our feelings of the situation.
This
at the time of this vigil, I did not know anybody at the law firm. I was grieving. I also was feeling extraordinarily uncomfortable with any presence I was of anybody that knew the situation. I would walk in to any room or any environment, and then people would separate, create distance, look at me with angry eyes. So I did not feel comfortable being there. As much as I wanted to show respect, as much as respect as I had.
Overruled.
So
angry eyes? What are we at? Real Housewives
She called me up. She had an opportunity to create in a different environment for myself. She said, maybe you need a different headspace. Come out and try to enjoy something. And so she invited me along with her group of friends, and she had these tickets for an extended period of time. And she had one.
Hold on. So shout out to Infamous Sylvia's in the chat. I'm going to read the case number out loud, but I'm also putting it in the chat for you, Sylvia. It's SU24CR0547. It's also in the chat for you there as well. Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. You are there on a spicy day.
Woo,
and guys,
lovely.
if you didn't know, I know a lot of people here have been asking about the Sarah Grace Patrick case, and Sylvia's been in the courtroom for that, as well as like a million other cases, but she's often boots on the ground for Georgia cases. So if you don't already know her, there's her link there. So make sure you go and follow. But yeah, that's the case number. I'm not sure if you can copy and paste it from the chat, but just in case.
Oh, we want to know what's happening with this jury with this load of cow dung that is being flailed about in this courtroom.
Yeah, like let us know if they look like they're what they look like while
it was
listening to this.
There were definitely signs in Adelson when I was there when certain testimony came in that I thought were like body language tells. So I'm curious. And I want to know if they're young or old. Like, are they old like me or, you know, young like y'all?
I will send, and it sounds like Sylvia's trying to go into the court, but Sylvia, I'm sending you a link. I'll send it on X. That way, if you want to pop up anytime, I'll send that over to you. All right, let me hit play here. Let me run back this. Great. If I go back to the question, it's going to take like 10 years because of how long his answer is. Whatever, starting here.
How I was doing. She was a very dear friend. She is one of the only few that actually would reach out to see how I was feeling, and then we would converse and we would talk about our feelings of the situation. At the time of this vigil, I did not know anybody at the law firm. I was grieving. I also was feeling extraordinarily uncomfortable with any presence I was of anybody that knew the situation. I would walk in to any room or any environment, and then people would separate, create distance, look at me with angry eyes. So I did not feel comfortable being there. As much as I wanted to show respect, as much as respect as I had.
Overruled.
Oh,
So with that being said, Lauren had an opportunity when she
hold on. I think that was co-counsel. I think that was Justin Hill objecting, right? Is that what it sounded like? And that's why it's overruled?
as much as I wanted to show respect, as much as respect as I had.
Overruled.
Yeah. So she overruled that, but it was from the defense.
So with that being said, Lauren had an opportunity when she called me up. She had an opportunity to create in a different environment for myself. She said, maybe you need a different headspace. Come out and try to enjoy something. And so she invited me along with her group of friends, and she had had these tickets for an extended period of time. And she had one, and she says, if you want to join us and try to get a different headspace, maybe this environment will make you feel better. And so I accepted, and genuinely, it did make me feel better.
Okay. So to my
The problem,
question,
it was
in
on the
regards-
same night. That's the problem. You going to a concert is not an issue, sir. The problem is that you chose to go to a concert on the same night. Like,
With someone you met through the person who's supposed to
Yes.
also have been a close friend. And it was a memorial service. And guys, I heard Cruz say this was now in June, so over the summertime, which makes more sense for a country concert, maybe. I don't know. I don't think this is January. I'm pretty sure Cruz said twice that it was June. But this law firm that she worked at was the one putting on the memorial candlelight service. So,
that's
and
why
then-
he's mad.
And then is this like, does Laura still work at that firm? It seems like there's extra reasons she'd want to be part of it. But
I don't
instead they do something else instead.
I don't understand why he needed to get a different headspace anyway. I'll say it again since he was so proud of it. He is the secure presence for everybody. He had the weight of the world. Remember, that was his testimony. He was the secure presence.
And doesn't want to go comfort anybody that's gathering at this memorial.
Right.
He didn't need to if he already had someone's back to rub at a country concert. Yeah, is Lauren gonna testify? I mean,
Oh, I bet the defense will call her. Especially if they stooped that night, you know doggone well she gonna be called by the defense.
yeah, honestly, good point, Amanda. In June, are you still feeling like the initial suspense that you wouldn't go in? I'm really not trying to shame anyone that has a hard time going to funerals or things like that. It's just not everybody's thing. But I just think it's weird to go do something else with a friend who's from that same law firm hosting the event that you didn't know until you met them through your to-be fiance. Stacking all those things together, especially hearing this after the testimony we've heard already on Cross, it's not looking good for me.
And
I don't have a good read on how this
Yeah.
is coming through.
And I saw Angel said, but if everyone was looking at him and blaming him, I can see him not wanting to be around them. Sure, but sometimes you got to man up. Because
I
this
knew it
looked
was Maurice.
way worse.
Chat, it's Maurice doing the camera.
Oh!
I had a gut feeling. Love Maurice. So that's why we're getting like the zooms into the face and the nice panning here from the camera guy. Shout out, Maurice. Very excited to hear that. Shout out to Miss Sylvia for putting in her Rule 22 application as well.
Go Sylvia.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Man. Yeah, I think it's suspect is a good description of this here. And I might feel differently if he was the one on trial, and I would say don't take the stand. I'd be looking in the other direction. Well, there's ways to explain all this stuff. Maybe this isn't enough to convict somebody on. But it's certainly a huge, huge dump of reasonable doubt on this defendant's table. So,
Yeah.
and that's again, we are here for the trial of Faust, and can the state prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt against Faust? And this guy, the state's witness, is not doing the state any favors. So
You do realize we have yet to hear Edrick Faust's name today, except when Mr. Cruz said that he's representing him.
That's the most we hear it. Oh, good times. All right, let's see. His face is always stuck when I pause.
And your reason for not going to the candlelight visual was because another woman talked you into going into a concert with her. Your answer was no. Is that right?
You stated that she talked me into going. She didn't. She heard me through, and I believe that it's more of she gave me permission to accept that it's okay, Chris. It's okay that you can try to do something to feel better about your situation.
Let me ask you this, Mr. Melton. I think you and I could agree you're a very charismatic person. Have you heard that before?
Where's he going?
Yes.
Okay. Is this the way you were talking with law enforcement when they were interviewing you?
I wasn't aware if I was. I mean, this is my demeanor.
Sure. When the state and yourself was going over your testimony, is this how you were talking with the state as well?
I'm unaware. I mean, this is who I am.
But I would like you to answer my question with a yes or a no. Okay.
Okay, I'll try my best.
The reason
We
you
know
didn't
you
go to the
can't.
candlelight visual is because Ms. Sherling told you shouldn't go. Is that a better way to put it?
No.
Oh, they have
First time
information.
discussing the candlelight visual is
Or she'll say the
It's
opposite.
been discussed with a detective.
okay. And your statement was, or do you recall making a statement, and which even Lauren didn't go to that when she was part of that. Even the people she worked with were going to be speaking there at the memorial service. And they suggested to her that she shouldn't come, and I talked to her about it, and she's like, it's not something you want to be at, Chris. It's just not trying to talk me out of it, just trying to tell me how the situation is going to be. But I didn't go to that. Is that accurate?
If that's on a recording and you have it verbatim, but I don't.
My question is that accurate?
Not
Yes
a
or
good
no?
way to answer.
I don't think it's completely accurate.
I move to introduce Defense Exhibit
Oh boy.
3, which is the June 20th, 2001 audio recording between Mr. Melton and law enforcement. Now I ask that the court introduce timestamp.
Wait, so June 20th, 2001?
43, which is the June 20th, 2001 audio recording between Mr. Melton and law enforcement. Now I ask that the court introduce timestamp.
Yeah, if you have it verbatim is not a very confidence-inspiring answer.
It sounds very McCabe-ish to me.
425 to 455, Your Honor.
Do you have a number of that exhibit?
Defense Exhibit 43.
43. And I'm sorry, say it one more time, the time stamp.
4 minutes and 25 seconds to 4 minutes and 55 seconds.
All right, thank you. And you're asking to introduce that?
Just that portion, correct.
All right. Any objection, Mr. Yelman-Chili?
There's been no foundation laid for the recording, Judge. So that is our objection.
Do you remember
based on
speaking with
foundation.
Long?
All right, I'll sustain that objection. Allow you to lay a foundation, Mr.
Sure. Excuse me. You recall talking to law enforcement in regards to going to a country concert with Lauren Sherling. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you hadn't heard this audio recording. Would you like to hear this audio recording?
In the section that you're referring to, I would say yes.
Okay, perfect. So, Your Honor, this is what I would ask. I would ask if I could allow the witness outside the presence of the jury to listen to that portion of the recording to determine if he recognizes that recording, Your Honor.
All right, any objection, Mr. Yelman-Chili?
No, Judge.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll have you leave for a moment. Don't discuss the case. This is another
the
break,
jury
and we
out.
will take a lunch break. Don't worry. We'll be back with you shortly. Thank you.
All right, so we'll get to hear it even if the jury ultimately doesn't. We'll zoom through this send out of the jury.
I mean, to be fair, if it was a George Strait concert, I could maybe see, that'd be a tough.
Can't miss it. I think Cash Money Cass in the chat said the other option was Backstreet Boys. So I mean,
Oh, definitely not Backstreet Boys.
tough choices. Tough choices.
He did say country
Priorities.
concert.
Oh, shout out to
Nick.
the Nick Starro raid. We've got a raid just in time for impeachment. So you guys might have watched this already over there. We're going to end up skipping the lunch break. But I'm sure you guys would love to watch this twice. Good to see you guys. Nick was doing Melton Monday earlier over on his channel. So here for twosies.
I mean, there's really not a difficult decision, Backstreet Boys or George Strait. I would absolutely go to George Strait, but I don't know if you had a memorial to go to and honor someone.
It's almost like even if you had reservations about going to something like that, there's the idea that you have to do it because you don't want to, like, you wouldn't
raise
want someone to
weird.
think that you made the choice to not go, especially when you're claiming to be everybody else's rock and you are the strong one for everybody else.
Right. Sylvia says the jurors are taking notes, so she must have gotten a clear to be able to chat with us, I'm guessing. Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you, Sylvia. Good to know. I'm glad they're taking notes because there are a good amount of like names, exhibits, dates to keep track of here. So I think he's just queuing up, right? It's the tech that they're getting together, right? Nick says he's convinced this guy's the actual perp. It feels that way.
It sure does. It sure does. NKOTB? Seriously? That's the band you would pick? That's what they're saying in the chat, Kat.
Wait, I don't know what that is.
New Kids on the Block. NKOTB.
Oh. I think I'm just barely too young for New Kids on the Block. I think it just missed me. So maybe in another
That's my era.
Parallel universe.
Oh boy. When I saw NKOTB, I was like, oh, I got to give you a hard time then.
I only know that because of the LFO song that mentions them.
All right. Are you able to do that? I mean, all right. How long does that take?
Oh gosh.
Oh, great. Okay.
All right, so he's swapping to a flash drive.
Oh boy. All righty. This is why we make sure we have flippity flip time.
I need someone to make a remix of the Drake song Trust Issues, but with tech issues.
All right, Mr. Melton, let the record reflect that I am playing minute mark 425 through 455.
Ruh-roh.
All right, so Sylvia says one of the jurors are definitely not
Today is
for
probably before the
defense,
cons.
and there are 4 black people on the jury.
I bet they don't like this.
Today is probably before the concert, in which even Lauren didn't go to that when she was part of that. Even the people she worked with were going to be speaking there at the memorial service, and they suggested to her that she shouldn't come. And I talked to her about it, and she's like, "It's not something you want to be at, Chris. It's just going to not trying to talk me out of it, just trying to tell me how the situation's going to be." But I didn't go to that, and we discussed. I even talked to Lauren about it the night before, just discussing if I should go to that instead of the concert, and saying, "Hey, I feel I should be there too." And she's like, "Well," she told me what the people at the law firm told her what it was going to be.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There's your
Ready for the
foundation.
jury? All right. Could you bring the jury in, please?
Oh boy. Okie dokie.
You all may be seated. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. You would agree that you and Ms. Sherling agreed to go to the country concert over going to Miss Baker's candlelight vigil. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, at this concert that you went with Miss Sherling, that you went with Miss Sherling to, There was a total of 6 people. Is that correct?
Sounds accurate.
Okay. It was Miss Sherling's mother and father. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It was her neighbors, which was a guy and a girl couple.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And this was a country concert at Turner Field.
Correct.
Okay. So you and Miss Sherling left Athens when Miss Baker is having a candlelight visual to travel to Atlanta to go to a country concert.
Oh.
I don't remember where we left from. I don't recall that. But I do recall going to a concert, and it was in an open stadium, and you get to walk around and listen to country music.
You remember that, but you don't remember whether Miss Baker told you she was going to be alone the day before she died.
Sustained.
I got the point.
Chris,
I got the
week
point,
before
too.
Tara died, there was an incident between you and her that jeopardized your relationship with her. Do you remember that?
Oh, the fight.
I remember being asked about the question.
Do you remember the incident?
I remember nothing happening the week before, but I had answered a question to a detective, and I remember telling there was an incident that always stayed in the forefront of my mind that I realized I had hurt her feelings, but I didn't realize at that time the question was the week before, because the incident that I explained happened months before.
What
All right, so your
the
testimony
devil
today,
word
Mr.
salad
Melton,
was
is the
that?
incident that occurred before Miss.
He already knows what the defense is going to tell the jury about.
That was that not a word salad?
Happened.
Well, I think he's trying to explain how he said that they'd had a fight and then needs to distance the fight from the actual incident. So he's going to say, yes, I did say that. And I know you're going to confront me with me saying that, but I'm explaining now that I misspoke to the detective in the statement you're about to confront the jury with.
Yeah, he's giving like massive Robert Tellis vibes to me. I mean, just let this man testify in narration form, because that's
Yeah.
what he wants to do on every single question.
Yeah, and all that. I mean, I wonder what the preceding question from the detective was. Like, why hadn't you seen her in 10 days? Well, we had
Right.
an argument. Oops, I shouldn't have said that. And now
Right.
it's going to haunt me that I told the detective that. Like, hopefully we get to hear the whole interview, the segment of the interview.
Before, but I had answered a question to a detective, and I remember telling there was an incident that always stayed in the forefront of my mind that I realized I had hurt her feelings, but I didn't realize at that time the question was the week before, because the incident that I explained happened months before.
All right, so your testimony today, Mr. Melton, is the incident that occurred before Miss Baker died was actually an incident that occurred months before Miss Baker died.
Where he had asked, he goes, has there ever been a time that you felt that something you had done jeopardized your relationship? I think that's close to accurate, but my answer that I gave was off the forefront of my mind that had always stayed there, but it did not happen the week before. I stated that in questioning, but it was not the week before.
Give you the time sentence. I just want to make sure we're clear on the question that I asked, okay? The week before Miss Baker's death, there was an incident between you and her that jeopardized you two's relationship.
No, sir.
This isn't the first time you've been asked that question, is it?
No, sir.
On June 20th, 2001, law enforcement asked you that question. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And your statement to law enforcement was, yes, I remember that incident. Is that correct?
No, I remember I started telling about an incident.
Your Honor, I would ask to play minute mark 621 through 650 of Defense Exhibit 43.
This is back in June. This is June 20 again.
43 in evidence?
What is he
Well, we
mouthing
did
and
the
whispering?
We did the timestamp is.
That one time.
The segment was
What is he doing on the
Forgive me if I
stand?
didn't move to
It's
it.
not in evidence.
Please forgive
begging
me.
the state for help.
It is not in evidence. So is there an objection to, and we can talk about that later. Let's talk about the request that Mr. Cruz has just made. Do you have an objection to what he has just requested?
Just a foundation, Your Honor.
I will sustain that objection and allow you to lay a foundation.
Okay. And you've already stated that you remember talking to law enforcement about that. Is that right?
I do.
Okay. And you two specifically discussed the incident between you and Tara the week before she died. Is that right?
He asked the question, but I'm not hearing it correctly at the time. It was an incident that had happened in the past, but not the week before. But he does ask that question.
So let me do it this way. Did you admit to law enforcement that an incident occurred with you and Miss Baker the week before her death?
I would have to say yes, but it wasn't accurate.
Well, we can't have it both ways. First, you said it was months ago.
You're going to object about editorializing about the witness's answers.
Oh, whatever. Shut up.
Sure.
Mr. Cruz, just stick to your question.
Yes, ma'am. Your original answer was that this incident was months ago. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. But your answer now is you do remember the incident the week before she passed away.
I remember the question he asked, but and what I had described did not happen the week before.
But you told law enforcement it happened the week before.
He asked the question, and I gave an answer, but it was not the week before.
My specific. Oh, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. My specific question is, did you tell law enforcement that the incident happened the week before her death?
He asked that question, and I did not say that it happened the week before. I went into an explanation of what, in my forefront of my mind, had at some point jeopardized our relationship.
Yep.
Your Honor, I would renew my request to introduce minute marks 621 through 650 into evidence as a prior and consistent statement.
Mr. Yalman-Chili.
Well,
He's not
there are a
saying
lot
it's
of questions.
inconsistent.
None of them had to do with the foundation for the exhibit, however, which was my objection.
He had a conversation
Yeah,
with
he
the
already-
detective.
Objection allow you to lay a foundation, Mr. Cruz.
What are we doing?
He just admitted to the conversation. He admitted to me
Yes.
asking the question.
Yes. What? I don't understand.
You haven't heard what's on this flash drive, have you?
On the flash drive?
Right. You haven't heard what's on this flash drive, correct?
I don't know what's on your flash drive.
Let me ask you this. Did the state play your interviews for you?
I have heard the interviews.
They played them for you?
I have heard the interviews.
Okay. So you're familiar with your interviews with law enforcement, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And you are familiar with the interview that took place where you discussed with law enforcement the incident that took place the week before her death, is that right?
Yes, I'm familiar with that question.
Okay. And the reason you're familiar with it is because you've heard the interview, correct?
Well, I'm familiar with the question from originally, plus after 25 years, I think it's fair to say that I need to hear what I said on recording.
So you'll like to hear it to determine if it's a fair and accurate rendition of your statements to law enforcement on June 20th, 2001?
I would like to hear to see if it's accurately depicting your question, because you say, did I state, and in my explanation, that it actually happened the week before. The question he asked was, did it happen? He goes, what happened?
This is not going to
Or
go
is
over
there
well with
anything-
a jury.
Was there anything the week before that could have jeopardized your relationship? And then I go into an explanation of something that was always on the forefront of my mind because I hurt her feelings, and it did not happen the week before.
How is this not
I did
foundation?
not explain to them it did not happen the week before. I just
That's
went
not
into an
the question.
explanation of something that I was recollecting.
Okay. I'm going to allow you to hear what's on this flash drive, Defense Exhibit 43. They have headphones. Do we have
This is now
headphones?
Chris Melton's court, in case anybody was wondering. He
Your
gets
Honor,
to decide
I would
what
ask, and I
exhibits get
apologize to
played.
everybody. I would ask that I have the opportunity to lay the proper foundation for this flash drive with Mr. Melton outside the presence of the jury.
All right, we will do that. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll go into the jury room, don't
They
discuss
need
the
to
case.
get
We'll be with you
headphones.
shortly.
Yeah.
So kick the jury out again, all because they don't have headphones on the stand for the jury, the witness to hear something while the jury's still in the room.
I don't know why this guy has to go on these long diatribes every time.
Mr.
It's
Cruz,
not
let's-
serving him well. I mean,
Because
I'm
he
here
knows-
for it.
He knows that just saying yes wouldn't serve him well either.
Right. Well, the extra words aren't helping him.
Agreed. It's making the explanation seem more desperate rather than just being an explanation.
And contrived.
Yeah.
Let me just make sure for the record, you are you trying to refresh this witness's record?
No, I am not. I am laying the foundation for impeachment. I just want to lay the foundation that he recognizes this exhibit. I think that's the only piece that's missing.
So are you trying to lay the foundation for a prior inconsistent statement?
Correct.
Okay, all right.
That's what impeachment is, you jackwagon.
May I, Your Honor?
You may.
Okay, thank you.
Heading on down to Impeachment Street.
Reflect that I'm playing for Mr. Melton. Minute mark 6:13 through minute mark 6:49 for the purpose of laying the foundation for this audio recording.
I want to know what he was mouthing when he was sitting up there on the witness stand. Because he was definitely mouthing something to someone.
Please help. Send help.
Think anybody now.
No, even if
Another thing was issue, kind of, we'll call it an issue until we hear from you, was brought up to us. Something to the effect that like a week prior to Tara's death, Tara had found out some information and could have maybe jeopardized y'all's relationship. Do you remember having a discussion? I think this
Something that she might have found at your apartment in Athens.
I think she went there to leave you a note or something.
Left a note?
She went to his apartment to leave a note after finding something out.
Oh,
Hold on, chat.
oh boy. Oh boy. And somebody asked in the chat what a jackwagon is. It's I don't say bad words, so I say silly things like that instead.
Wagon is another word for behind.
Another thing was issue, kind of, we'll call it an issue until we hear from you, was brought up to us. Something to the effect that like a week prior to Tara's.
So someone ends up telling detectives that a week prior to Tara's death,
Tara had found out some information.
Tara had found out some information.
And could have maybe jeopardized
That could have maybe jeopardized
y'all's relationship. Do you remember having a discussion? I think this
Something that she might have found at your apartment in Athens.
I think she went there to leave you a note or something.
yeah, I know it was.
Okay. How about?
Did you have an opportunity to hear that, Mr. Melton?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Is that you on the audio recording?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is the minute 6 minutes and 13 seconds to 6 minutes and 49 seconds? Is that an accurate? Is that an accurate portion of your conversation with law enforcement?
Yes.
Okay. You recognize this audio recording as the conversation you had with law enforcement on June 20th, 2001. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. Does it sound like it's been altered in any way?
No.
Your Honor, I believe the proper foundation has been laid for the audio recording. I'd ask that the jury be allowed to come back in.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Yelmichili, do you have an objection?
I think at this point, the foundation has been laid. However, I did not hear a prior inconsistent statement. It's exactly what Mr. Melton said, which is that he got asked the question and then he
Dude,
launched
don't be
into
bobbing
an
your head.
explanation of what happened without correcting the date. So there may be something beyond this that Mr. Cruz wants to play that shows the inconsistency, but I believe, as far as what I heard, Judge, it was exactly what Mr. Melton testified to, which is that yes, in response to that question about a date certain, I started to launch into an explanation about the only incident that
I would say you've got to make it specific that the contradiction between his testimony today is that the question he's answering to is within the frame of a week. And he doesn't say, not this week, but.
could think of, but it is not actually from that date, and I didn't clarify that for law
And I think that's
enforcement, which
discretionary.
seems to be what happens on the recording, but obviously the court heard the recording as well and can draw its own conclusions.
Mr. Cruz, any response to Alderman Chili's comments?
Absolutely. That's a misrepresentation. Law enforcement clearly asked him if he was aware of an incident that occurred the week before
About a
Tara's
week
death.
before.
And Mr. Melton, before I cut the recording off, said, yes, I'm aware of that incident. My specific question to him was, Mr. Melton, was there incident? Well, my specific question to Mr. Melton was, Chris, the week before Tara died, there was an incident that upset her and jeopardized your relationship with her. Do you remember that? His first answer was no. It was months ago that it happened.
Right.
And eventually we got to him saying, well, I just told law enforcement that it was. I confronted him with the statement, Your Honor, I would ask that I'm allowed to impeach Mr. Melton with a prior inconsistent statement because she's
She's
Mr.
not
Melton
going to allow it
danced
because
around
she
the
doesn't
answer.
allow
He wouldn't give me
anything.
a clean yes or no.
I'm going to ask you to play it again because I did not hear what you're articulating.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I'd like to hear it again, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
She's about as dumb as a box of rocks. I'm sorry to say. You poor people in Georgia. Because this is not complicated. It's not difficult.
Another thing was issue, we'll call it an issue until we hear from you, was brought up to us. Something to the effect that like a week prior to Tara's death, Tara had found out some information that upset her and could have maybe jeopardized y'all's
Is
relationship.
it clearer now, Judge Lott?
Do you remember having a discussion?
All right, thank you. That's what I thought I heard. So I think that we are at a moment of the interpretation of semantics.
Sure.
But I do think semantics matter
Yes,
in
ma'am.
this moment. And what the officer just said, which is why I needed you to repeat it, was that
Or something.
something happened the week before where Ms. Baker had learned of something. And that is a different set of words and a different phrase than what you're asking Mr. Melton. And so based on that recording,
Oh
and
my
based on the
gosh.
questions that you are asking Mr. Melton, that's not a prior.
I think this will sharpen. If Cruz picks up on this, though, this should sharpen his approach because it doesn't matter when the incident actually happened. It matters when Tara would have gone and left the note at his apartment.
Exactly.
So if Cruz
Exactly.
picks up on this distinction, he can have a better line of questioning, I would say, with this witness.
Inconsistent statement. You certainly may continue questioning him, but that does not qualify as a prior inconsistent statement. If there's more context, for example, in that recording
Sure.
that supports the way that you have asked the question, we certainly can get into that. But this particular thread that you have played very specifically says when she learned of something, and that is different than what you've asked.
Yes, ma'am. That's fair. We could bring the jury out. I've played it. He's laid the foundation for the recording. I'll ask the appropriate question, and depending on his response, we'll take the next steps.
All right. You may bring the jury out. Thank you.
Yeah, don't tell them what you're going to do, Cruz, because that's the whole
Yeah.
point of why they want to do a lot of these objections and they about it all is because they want to tell the witness what they need to do once the jury is present. Flips me out.
Oh, I can zoom this.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Melton, do you recall law enforcement asking you that like a week prior to Tara's death, Tara had found out some information that upset her and could have maybe
out.
jeopardized your relationship? Do you remember having that discussion? Is that
Yes,
accurate?
they asked that question.
Sir?
Yes.
And you were told, I think she went there to leave you a note or something. Do you recall that?
I recall them saying yes.
Okay. And your response was, yeah, I know what it was.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, we did get it all in. Goody goody gumdrops.
You'd agree that you never disclosed that information to law enforcement until you were asked about it 5 months after her death. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You never shared with law enforcement the issue that led to Miss Baker not spending Christmas of 2000 with you, did you? Or Christmas Eve. Let me use the right date. Christmas Eve of 2000 with you. Is that correct?
I believe we were together Christmas Eve.
Your testimony here today is that you and Miss Baker were together on Christmas Eve?
Portion of the day, I believe so.
You never shared with law enforcement the reason why Miss Baker did not spend New Year's with you, did you?
Tara did spend New Year's. She spent New Year's Eve with me into New Year's Day. Yes.
You never shared with law enforcement the reason Miss Baker stopped calling you the week of December 27th to January 3rd, despite being home. Is that correct?
Oh.
What were the dates you just said?
December 27th to January 3rd, 2001.
Oh.
I don't recall.
That would have been break from school.
You never shared with law enforcement that Miss Baker told you that she needed space to focus on her studies 2 weeks before she died, did you?
Are you asking me? I'm sorry.
Sure.
There's a lot of questions.
You would agree that you never shared with law enforcement that Miss Baker told you that she needed space to focus on her studies 2 weeks before her death.
I'd agree.
And you also never shared with law enforcement that the day before Tara was murdered, that was the most that you two had spoken in the previous 2 months.
Oh.
The 5 calls.
I don't know about that now. No,
Oh.
As far as did I say? I'm sorry. Repeat your question. I'll make sure I understand you correctly.
You would agree that you never shared with law enforcement that the day before Miss Baker was murdered, that was the most that you two had spoken in the previous 2 months over the phone. I left that portion out, so please forgive me. Over the phone.
Okay. No, I don't believe I discussed that with the police. I wasn't really aware.
Would you have any reason to disagree that before Miss Baker died, others believed that it was clear that your relationship with Miss Baker was over?
It wouldn't be apparent or aware to me, no.
Because in your mind, it wasn't. There was no getting away from
Let's
you.
discuss
That's
your
not
dating
good
history
for
with
you.
Miss Baker. Is that fair?
Fair.
Okay. When you met Miss Baker, you two were in Milledgeville. Is that right?
Correct.
You two were in college.
Correct.
Okay. And you were a pre-med major. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And pre-med majors are typically aiming for medical school.
Correct.
Okay. And Miss Baker wanted to become a lawyer.
That's correct.
Eventually, Miss Baker graduated from college. Is that right?
That's correct.
And she moved to Athens. Is that correct?
When she graduated, at some point, when she graduated, she moved home.
Yes, sir. But eventually she moved to Athens. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And you would agree after Miss Baker moved to Athens, you followed her to Athens.
Correct.
Let me frame it this way. You didn't graduate from college. Is that correct? You didn't get your pre-med degree. Is that right?
That's correct.
Now, for your living arrangements in Athens, you rented a empty bedroom in Chase Guerin's apartment. Is that right?
Correct.
And Chase is someone you actually met through Tara.
Correct.
And for work, while you were staying in Athens, you were driving back and forth daily to Loganville from Athens, Georgia to Loganville and back. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And you
Pause
moved
for
to
just a
Athens
second.
specifically.
Yeah.
I saw that your comment, and it's so funny because everybody is in the chat is now getting to the same thing. I don't think those diamond earrings were given to her at Christmas
Out of
time.
pure love.
They were given to her sometime in that week before she was red rummed. And I say that because he was with her. They probably had makeup sex. He gave her apology earrings. And then after that, she was like, things are still the same for me. I'm not really into this relationship anymore. Like, you're fun and I'm in college and that, but I'm having fun. And then he found out that she hooked up with
Somebody,
the defendant.
anybody else.
Well,
Anybody
anyone,
else.
yeah.
But especially
And that enraged him because he thought he had manipulated it and smoothed it all over, got the diamond earrings for her. Heaven only knows how much they cost. I'm telling you, I can see this all playing out just in that 1 week span.
And just because Tara's not racist doesn't mean that Chris Melton was not.
Right. Yeah, I can totally see that. Her leaving a note because of something that she discovered that jeopardized their relationship, that's pretty specific and precise questioning of someone. And he didn't deny it. He denies it now.
I mean, she probably told a friend or a colleague, like, I'm just going to go leave a note at his apartment and then we're going to be done.
Yeah.
And that's why somebody was able to have that information to give to law enforcement.
What did the note say?
Oh, I'm sure this is all just based on a friend saying, like, Tara told me she was going to go leave a note over there.
Right.
They probably never got it. He probably crumbled in, threw it out a window somewhere.
I'm just that this kind of timing, because I was like, what would be the motivation? But now I'm seeing the motivation of his actions.
You're not leaving me. We are not on the verge of breaking up. Here's a nice gift. Can't we just go back to the way we were?
Yep.
Oh, you already moved on. You don't want me to come spend your birthday with you and you don't have friends with. So he might not have needed Tara to tell him that Ashley and Valerie were going to be gone if Ashley was his friend first. Ashley might have just been like, I feel so bad we're not going to be here, but we have to plan to do something when we get back from my equestrian competition that I have or whatever. And he's like, oh. So she's not doing something with Ashley, but she hasn't told me she's doing anything. Let me call her 5 times.
Let me even back it up from there. It could have been something perfectly innocent. Her birthday. Her birthday was coming up. You know what? I'm going to surprise her. I don't know about any of you, but I did this in my 20s and I stumbled upon someone rolling out of the hay with my boyfriend. And it was not me rolling out of the hay with him. So it's possible the whole knowing whether she was going to be alone or not doesn't even matter because he was trying to surprise her for her birthday and stumbled on her celebrating her birthday, if you know what I mean.
Or not even just not home and seeing her come home late.
Right. Yeah, anything. And then using that opportunity of no one is here and going, off the rails.
Oh, man, guys, this
adds a lot of context to things. I don't think this helps the state's case at all.
Me either. Oh, man.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And you moved to Athens specifically to be close to Miss Baker. Is that right?
Correct.
And when you first moved to Athens, is it fair to say that you and Miss Baker would spend in a 7-day week, you guys would be together about 4 or 5 days?
That's correct. That's pre-law school.
That's pre-law school?
That's before we spent that much time before she started getting in law school and getting more busy. Yeah.
So first semester of law school, you weren't spending 4 to 5 days with Miss Baker?
Well, yes, she would come by. Yes.
Okay. And you would go to her house too. Isn't that right?
Yes. Yes.
However, towards the end of December 2000 and January 2001, Miss Baker stopped visiting your home that often. Is that correct?
So we had less time together. Yes.
Okay. And we've already discussed law enforcement talking to you about the incident that happened the week before her death. Would you agree with that?
Asking the question, yes.
Okay. And you would also agree that the week before her death is when you decided to go back to your parents' home for work. Is that fair?
Just for work, not to move.
Okay.
But yes.
So I just want to make sure we're clear. So you didn't move away from Athens before Miss Baker's death?
Correct.
Okay. So if anybody said otherwise, that information is inaccurate.
Correct. I have not moved.
And due to Miss Baker studying and your work, the last time you saw Miss Baker was 10 days before she died?
Say it again.
It was 10 days before she died?
What was your full question?
Sure, I apologize. Due to Miss Baker's studying, as well as your work, the last time you saw Miss Baker was 10 days before she died.
Incorrect. The last time that I had stayed in Athens prior to her death would have been the Wednesday prior, but I saw her the weekend prior to her death.
And you saw her at your apartment?
No, she was at my parents'. She came by my parents' house.
And I noticed before you ask questions, you look over here. Is anybody communicating anything to you while you're on the stand?
No, sir.
It sure looks like it.
Now, let me ask you about the question in regards to the 10-day window. You would agree that when law enforcement met with you, you told law enforcement in 2024 that you were certain it had been 10 days since you last saw Miss Baker. Would you agree with that?
I stated that in confusion, yes, sir.
Okay. But you stated it. It was in confusion, but you stated it.
I stated it.
Okay. And Miss Elizabeth Bigham told you that she had your DNA. Is that right?
Oh, here we go.
At some point, yes.
And she told you that because of the DNA that she had of yours, it could not have been 10 days. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Ms. Bigham also told you that they need to be able to explain away your DNA. Is that right?
Correct.
And in response to let me ask this question the right way. In response to Ms. Bigham telling you that she needed to explain away your DNA, you continued to tell her that, no, I'm certain it's 10 days since I last saw Miss Baker. Is that right?
I started reflecting, and I do recall being with Tara the weekend before. I have always stated from prior to that I was with her the weekend before. Time had gone by, and confusion started setting in, and I was reflecting on the last time I had stayed in Athens. But indeed, Tara had come to my house that weekend.
But you didn't say that you had seen her that weekend until Miss Bigham told you that you said that you saw her that weekend back in 2001. Is that right?
That's correct. And other times beyond. Yes, sir.
And Miss Bigham told you that your DNA was found in Miss Baker's mouth. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And she told you the DNA doesn't last that long in her mouth. Is that right?
Correct.
She told you all of this information before you said that, hey, I remember now, I saw Miss Baker the weekend before she passed away. Would you agree with that?
Correct, I would say.
But one thing that you were adamant about with Miss Bigham that she couldn't get you to change, you said, I did not see Tara Baker the week of her death. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, so I want to make sure we're clear for the record. You didn't see Miss Baker on Monday. Is that right?
Correct.
It's undisputed that you didn't see Miss Baker on Tuesday. Is that correct?
Every day.
Correct.
It's undisputed that you didn't see Miss Baker on Wednesday. Is that
days.
correct?
That's correct.
And it's undisputed that you didn't see Miss Baker on Thursday.
Correct.
And it's undisputed that you didn't see Miss Baker, you would say you didn't see Miss Baker on Friday.
I think it's undisputed.
So we have Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday. So we'll say at least 5 days, right?
Correct.
Okay. And you told Miss Bigham that the closest time, for the first time, that you believe you saw Miss Baker last or had sexual intercourse with Miss Baker last was the Sunday before she left. Is that right?
Sounds accurate, yes.
Okay. And that was the first time in 24 years that you ever told law enforcement that you had sexual relations with Miss Baker on Sunday.
It doesn't explain away the DNA.
I think in the past I'd said it in the weekend, and I had said we had sex on Saturday, and then I'm sure that I believe that we had sex on Sunday. It's just, yes.
That's a yes to my question?
I would say yes.
So if you're, I won't ask that question. So at the time of Miss Baker's death, you stated today, I believe, that you and Tara, well, I'll ask you, how long had you and Tara been dating at the time of her death?
Again, that would be 2.5 years.
Not 3.5 years?
2.5 years.
Not 3.5 years?
From, 2.5 to, I think our 2-year anniversary was the July 4th prior. I believe that we considered us actually a couple.
Okay.
Yes.
So we'll say 2.5 years. So in 2.5 years, within that 2-year window, you moved to Athens to be near her. We've agreed on that. Is that right?
Correct.
You helped her move into her Deer Park apartment. Is that correct?
Correct.
And at the time she moved into her Deer Park apartment, is it fair to say that you two were in a serious relationship?
Correct.
But Ms. Baker didn't choose to move in an apartment with you. Is that correct?
That is correct.
The day before Ms. Baker died, you would agree that you two spoke 5 times.
Sounds right.
And we've agreed for the past 20 years, you've stated court's indulgence. Now, Mr. Melton, we've already agreed that in 2001, you were advised that Ms. Baker was sexually assaulted. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, you heard it, you testified to it. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, now you do recall also meeting with GBI again on May 5th, 2024. Is that right?
That's correct.
And during the May 5th, 2024 interview, you were told that someone else's DNA was found in Ms. Baker's mouth. Do you remember that?
That's correct.
Okay, and is it, you were told that it was the bad guy's DNA. Is that right?
That's correct.
Oh.
You were also told by law enforcement that they did not intend to arrest you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And they told you that they needed your help explaining away your DNA. Is that right?
They were trying to have an understanding of why the DNA was in their mouth, or was in Tara's mouth. So, ask your
not
question
just
again.
there.
Sure. They told you they needed you to explain, they needed to be able to, let me rephrase it.
Well then.
They were asking you to help them explain away your DNA or why your DNA would be present in her mouth.
Yes.
Now, when they told you that there was another DNA profile in Ms. Baker's mouth, your response is,
We approach, please.
May?
Oh, state doesn't want to hear this. I want to hear it. Because remember, we heard that in 2001 when he first heard that Tara was sexually assaulted. This is within like the 2 days of the death. He goes, was there semen on her? Or was there sperm on her? However he worded it.
Yeah,
That
it
was his
something
reaction.
He asked whether semen was discovered. Yeah. Yeah.
And Cruz waited. Cruz says, I'm going to circle back to this later. He said, let's talk about something different now.
Yep. Oh boy.
State did not.
I want to know how long DNA remains in someone's mouth. That's what I want to know. Someone else's DNA. He won't be able to ask. But the effect will already be made because you're right. The jury's going to wonder why the state doesn't want it in. Yep. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. We're so sorry, Mr. Faust, that you're sitting at that defense table because you shouldn't be.
The zoom in.
Unbelievable.
And what if he had suspicions that she hooked up with somebody and was like, oh, I can just make this after the fact look like that person did it, even though it was my anger that caused all this because I became aware.
DNA in the mouth can remain for 1 to 2 days. Seriously? I
And
would
remember
not.
the DNA we have here is not sperm.
It is not correct. Which, I mean, in the mouth, they could have been, kissing or something. So it doesn't necessarily have to be nefarious, as Hank Brennan would say.
Sharing a joint, drinking the same drink.
I cannot imagine that DNA would stay for 2 days because it's so delicate on any sort of surface outside of the body. It's really strange to me. Oh, 60 minutes to 2 hours. That makes more sense to me.
That sounds like you saw someone leaving the house while you were outside.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Thank you, chat. You rock.
All right, so we've agreed that you were aware that Miss Baker was sexually assaulted in 2001, right?
Correct.
Okay. And despite this knowledge of her being sexually assaulted at the time of her death, your response was, I'm kind of stunned. I'm hearing there's two people, me and somebody else.
There's further description of that. I think they say in her mouth.
I think he won.
Yes.
I think he did too.
Make that statement.
And when they said in her mouth, yes.
Would it be shocking that if someone was sexually assaulted by someone else that they would likely have more than one DNA profile in them? Is that fair to say?
Judge, I'm going to object.
Speculation.
Calls for speculation.
I'm going to sustain that objection.
In your personal knowledge, okay, if someone, whether by choice or not, is intimate with two people, you would expect that two people would be present. Is that fair?
If somebody was sexually assaulted, and I'm thinking that if it's in the vagina and around, yes.
No. If it's in the vagina and what? Please finish the statement.
All right.
Oh, boy, you don't want to talk now, do you?
What question was asked?
Say drainage.
Well, actually, how can I have full explanation of the thoughts that are going through my head at that moment?
If I can ask you this, can you answer my question first and you can explain anything you need to explain?
Fair enough.
Is that fair?
Just restate your question, please.
So I think we agreed on the point that you said you were kind of stunned. I'm hearing that it's two people, me and somebody else. We've agreed on that, right?
Yes.
And my follow-up question was,
Oh, boy.
based on your personal knowledge, if someone is sexually assaulted by someone other than yourself, you would expect two people to be present. Is that right?
I would say yes, but I do have further explanation of my
What
statement.
is there to discuss?
Sure.
So he does not want to concede that he would have been around her sooner than 10 days or 6 days or whatever it is.
But
yes,
if
but I do have further.
if my intimate partner, if this happened to them,
And it wasn't me. It had to be another. One plus somebody else equals at least two.
I would be like, yes, this makes complete sense to me because I didn't do it. So obviously there's going to be other person's DNA. Let's go find who that is. But he does not react that way, which is so telling.
Gotta have a million. And look where he's looking.
Mm-hmm.
Based on your personal knowledge, if someone is sexually assaulted by someone other than yourself, you would expect two people to be present. Is that right?
I would say yes, but I do have further explanation of my statement.
Sure.
Oh, take the floor.
You were asked about your sexual history with Miss Baker. Is that correct?
When can I continue? When can I continue to?
So I can't answer questions. The Honorable Court has only given me
I'm sorry,
authority
I
to
wasn't.
ask
Do it on
questions.
redirect.
Didn't mean to look that direction. I apologize.
But the question I have for you, you have previously described your sexual relationship with Miss Baker. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. And that did not include anal intercourse.
that's correct.
And when investigators interviewed you on May 5th, you understood the importance of being truthful. Is that right?
That's correct.
And you understood, and you told them that you and Ms. Baker never, ever engaged in anal sex. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And then just a couple of more questions for you, Mr. Melton. I thank you so much for your patience. During direct examination, you talked about items on your hands. I believe you said it was plumber cement, it was solvent. What were the items that were on your hands when you met with police?
When do I get to go back and tell to about the other?
On redirect.
Oh my
previous
gosh.
question that you had?
So the Honorable Court
This
has only
man-
given me authority to ask questions. After this hearing, you and I can discuss it if you would like.
Can I not have an explanation to an answer? If I'm not, do I have the opportunity to explain a statement? If I'm not, I'm assuming I'm granted that. I'm not sure about the order of the questions that he's stating that Liz and Jeremy had asked me, the order, okay?
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive to any question that I asked. No
Any
question about the
question.
order of questioning
Okay.
by investigators.
Well, the reason,
Right, hang on just a second.
She
What was your
created
question
this.
again, Mr.
She
Cruz?
did. She should have
created
said from the
this.
very start, Mr. Yamoncelli will be able to ask you and you'll be able to explain
Yep.
on redirect. That's it. That's it. This could have been solved. This would be the 5th non-responsive objection that
Yep.
I've heard. It seems sometimes they're quiet. Maybe we missed another one while Yamoncelli was doing whatever. But she could have eliminated all of those from the first one.
Well, the fact that his body language, he turns to the jury like, let me explain everything in the world to you. It was very Amber Heardish, and
What in heck?
I'm that's why I was like, oh, let him roll because this is going to roast him with jurors. Oh, yes, Sheriff Chuck, he's showing his need for things to be his way and he will push through it. Yes, that's
Yeah,
what
you're
I was
not-
getting at.
You're not
is-
going to leave a note for me telling me we're done.
Exactly. I'm the one that decides how this questioning is going to go. Oh, yeah, this is not. Oh, this has gone way worse than I ever thought it could go for him. Oh, my
Melton Monday.
word.
And if he's ever on trial, he's going to have to squeeze with this testimony. Like, ugh.
reason,
Right, hang on just a second. What was your question again, Mr. Cruz?
Redirect's going to be fun.
He didn't have a question. That was the problem.
I believe the question, and Mr. Melton can correct me if I'm wrong, that he would like to follow up on was the question in regards to his statement, I'm kind of stunned. I'm hearing there's 2 people, me and somebody else. And I believe he mentioned about it being in her mouth, and I think he wanted to follow up on that, Your Honor.
All right, well, witnesses are allowed to explain their answers if they answer yes or no. Did you, why don't you ask that question again?
Oh, his
and see if you get
demeanor
the
is-
yes or no question, and if this witness would like to explain his answer, he may do so.
Sure, absolutely. And despite knowing that Ms. Baker was sexually assaulted for 23 years, when you were told that somebody else's DNA was found in her body, your response was, I'm kind of stunned. I'm hearing there's 2 people, me and somebody else. Is that correct?
correct. Okay, with the explanation.
Here we go.
When Liz, they tell me, not that it's in her
Liz.
body, they tell me specifically that it's in her mouth. Okay? In my mind at that point, I'm not accurate about DNA and so forth, timing and so forth, but there was
Why would it matter?
just a short fraction moment of a time. And if I can request to even play that section of the audio,
Oh,
that for just a moment, I was taking consideration that I say was this voluntary? Because why in the world would she not bite his penis? If somebody's trying to do that, why would you not bite his penis? And that's what I was expressing.
this doesn't make you look good.
It makes me wonder if that's what she had done to him.
Or maybe is he going to explain he's gonna explain that he was thinking like it must have been consensual until he realized that it wasn't. Like it could have been from anything that put the DNA there. Is that going to be his explanation? Like he didn't understand DNA. But still, like.
And that's what I was expressing. And I was in shock that it was in her mouth, because for just a fraction of a moment, it kind of went through my head. I was like, was something happening there that I was unaware of with Tara? And I'm ashamed to even think that for a second. And then Liz responds, don't let your head go there.
Objection, hearsay.
It's on the audio recording.
Oh!
That objection.
This man.
Mr. Melton, so you can't mention what anybody else said.
Oh, this is spicy.
I would like to follow up on this.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Who's in
Say
control?
objection.
Nobody.
Mr. Cruz in this line of questioning has specifically mentioned the words that the GBI agents are saying back and forth to Mr. Melton. So I think as it relates to the rule of completeness in this line of questioning, Mr. Melton is allowed to talk about that because of the fact that Mr. Cruz has opened the door to it in his line of questioning.
Would you like to respond to the objection about the rule of completeness?
I would. So the purpose of my questioning was the objective effect on the listener. So it wouldn't apply as hearsay because they give them information or they make a statement to him. The most important portion of it isn't what's said to him. We aren't offering that for the truth of the matter. We're offering it to the jury for his response. So anytime that...
And he literally gave that whole explanation specifically to explain his response. So how are you going to argue with this one?
Well,
he said, let me explain why I said that, what was in my mind at that time.
And I don't think he's remembering the entire interview, and he wants to play more portions of it, he being Mr. Melton. And we don't know what is on the rest of it. It may not look very good for him. So if we want to follow the rule of completeness, play the whole doggone thing. Okay. I have a feeling this is not good for the prosecution.
I've mentioned something from GBI.
Unless
it's
they
either been a
explain
question
DNA
that
right
was asked,
after,
which is not hearsay because it's not a statement offered for the truth. It's a question. Or two, the objective effect on Mr. Melton in regards to how did he respond to that information. The rule of completeness, from what I understand, applies to documents, videos, things that if you only play a portion of it or show a portion of it, it wouldn't put it into context. And if the state would like to... Well, I won't get into that. But that's my understanding of the rule of completeness. Right now, we're just going through his testimony with non-hearsay statements from law enforcement.
Okay, I'm going to withdraw my former comment that it is hearsay. Both parties have agreed that it is not hearsay. I'm going to allow you to complete your statement. Go ahead.
So we're actually back
to what
17.
I was saying.
I didn't agree that his statement wasn't hearsay. His statement was hearsay as far as what Ms. Bigham said. I was explaining my statements.
Well, I'm going to allow him to say
Yes, ma'am.
however you characterize it.
Did you
I'm going
hear
to make
how
a
he
finding that
started?
Both parties have said it's not hearsay. I'm going to allow you to continue explaining if you choose to do so.
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to continue. There was a moment when I'm going to have to back up just a touch, I guess. But
oh boy,
I hear
this guy,
that there's
he's in love with himself.
Semen in her mouth. I'm expecting it in other places of her body, but in her mouth, I was like, how did she not bite this person? And
you said that already.
for just a moment, I was like, was this voluntary? And then I was going the wrong thoughts in my head, and Liz picked up on that also, and she stated something that was beyond my realm of consideration, and she says, that's if Tara was still alive.
You were in her mouth too, is that correct?
It's the DNA, you're saying. Yes, the DNA was located.
Okay.
That's what I've been told.
And I just want to make it very clear for the jury. When you met with law enforcement on May 5th, 2024, you understood that your DNA was in Miss Baker's mouth.
That's what I was told.
And her anus. That's my understanding.
Last question I have for you. I want to talk about your hands a little bit.
Oh, back to
Did
the
you
hands.
state you punched the wall 30 times?
I stated that I couldn't remember how many times I punched it, but I was
One
just
hole in the wall.
guesstimating.
Okay. But you stated that you punched it so hard that shingles were falling off the house?
No, that I was hitting at some point when I came through, I know I hit the siding.
Okay. Did you mention that you were hitting concrete and things of that nature?
Sir?
Did you mention that you hit concrete? Did I hear
Well,
that?
that's what the siding was made of.
Okay, so you were punching through the wall and hitting concrete.
The
Yes.
siding?
I remember yes, I remember punching through and feeling the other side. Yes.
Okay. You would agree that you never told law enforcement that you sought medical treatment for your hands. Is that correct?
That's correct. I never did.
Okay. And you would also agree that you didn't break any bones in your hands. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. You also agree that the injuries to your hand
Wholly
were scratch-like
unbelievable.
injuries. Is that right?
There were scratch-like injuries on my hand. Yes.
I think we established this. This is my last point. And I believe we've already talked about this and we've agreed on it maybe multiple times. But your hands were covered in work supplies when you went to meet with law enforcement, right?
Yes, I believe there was primer and maybe some glue that was on my hands.
You didn't work
You
that
also
day.
mentioned cement as well, plumber cement, I think you stated.
Plumbing and cement as a possibility. I wasn't completely accurate of all this, but it's primer I know that sticks to your hands, and then there's probably little pieces of adhesive.
Okay, and I want to ask you something that's very interesting to me, and this is my last question for real.
Mm-hmm.
You refer to the officers by their first names. How many times have you met with them before this trial took place?
That's how they always introduce themselves.
My question is,
Wow.
how many times did you meet with them before this trial?
Before this trial, when they interviewed me,
How many times?
How many times?
I think I've had a total of
More times than I can count.
5, 6 interviews, I guess.
And that
Oh.
includes with the prosecutors as well?
As far as with the prosecutors, maybe 2.
Okay, so they've met
They
with
didn't
you a
look at him
total of
at all.
7 times, but they told you that your DNA was present in Miss Baker's dead body. Is that right?
Who's,
They didn't investigate him.
You talking about Liz and
Correct.
Jeremy?
Correct.
When they interviewed
Oh,
me?
keep
Correct.
saying like they're
They
your
said
buddies.
my DNA was also there. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Melton. I have no other questions for you.
That charisma,
Any redirect, Mr. Yeoman-Chile?
Yes, Your Honor, briefly.
briefly. Hold on. Do
I
you guys
doubt
see
that.
how long this banner is trying to count the objection mess in this? So because we took one sustained back. So the total objections, standard objections, 18 to 16. It was 18 to 17 until that last one, which you said, actually, I'm going to find that it's not hearsay anymore. Then we had the objection and a stipulation combo where the state objected and said, never mind, we'll stipulate to it. So I guess that could technically be another one. Then from the defense, we have objections to the speaking objections 2 times, which were denied. And we talked about it on a previous stream, but if you missed it when we were scrolling through the dockets, there's on the docket, the defense has raised an issue with comments coming in before the jury. There was more than this. There was more than just this one. This one is an example from November. So that's been an ongoing issue in this trial, and the judge just seems like whatever. Everybody can hear whatever I want them to hear. We've also got the 5 non-responsive objections from the defense. None of them were sustained, and then we also had 1 approach. So that is clearing up the cross-examination objection log as we move into redirect. So let's see. Do you think he'll be super explainy with redirect?
I think that there's a good possibility that prosecutor's going to try to keep this brief because they're
a
trying
mess.
they're trying to maintain this. He has shown the jury exactly who he is. And if you have anybody on that jury that has ever been involved in any sort of domestic violence, they are going to recognize this behavior right out of the gate.
I mean, that explains the earrings as a gift. And it's like the exact type of thing that a prosecutor, if Tara was alive and said he came and attacked me, the prosecutors would be arguing everything the exact opposite way that they're arguing it in this trial. If Tara was alive to be a complaining witness. So, like, just crazy. And also Moses here, that's why I'm thinking, so I should have said thank you first, but that's why I'm thinking, like, is he going to explain more? Moses says, Cruz plays the audio, asks some questions. Chris Melton says, see, what happened was, I can explain. Play more audio so I can dig myself a bigger hole. Just a mess. Just a mess. And I don't think his explanation for what he said in 2024, well, why didn't she fight back? I don't think that counteracts what he said in 2001 with, well, did you find something like sperm on her?
All of his statements, he thinks he's being really cool. He's very dumb. And so he thinks he's being real sly and he's getting one over on everyone. And he's actually just shoveling, making that hole dig deeper and deeper and deeper.
Oh, goodness. So thank you, Moses, there. Guys, I think we have a brief redirect and then they go on lunch break. We're going to be able to skip that lunch break. But we'll give you guys some time if you guys need some refills or anything like that. Let's see what Yalmancelli does here. Good old my friends Liz and Jeremy.
Mr. Melton, I've got just, one, well, I'm not going to call it one question. It might turn into a couple, but just one thing that I wanted to talk to you about, because there's been some testimony about this incident between you and Tara, but there hasn't been any testimony about what that incident was. Can you explain to us, what it is that happened and what this disagreement that y'all had? And I believe you testified it was the only disagreement that you could necessarily recall that was ever serious. What was
Only
it?
leading.
Oh, here we go. Oh, no. Oh,
water.
no. Oh, no.
Just bear with me.
Bear with you for what?
There was a time that Tara took care of me. I had gotten an infection. I had cellulitis that had entered my body through my thighs and through my buttocks.
Oh, boy.
On a job site late summer. Late summer, I remember it being hot. I had been shaved. I was on a new job site. I'm sitting on the soil installing plumbing. Well, during that time, evidently bacteria that had been in the soil entered through my clothes, entered my skin, and got me infected. That same day, later that evening, Tara was at my house, and she saw the effects it was having upon my body. And I'd swollen up in between my thighs and my legs, and my skin started turning black. She told me, you need to go to the emergency room. She took me to the emergency room. Once that was taken care of there, I had to come back to my place, and I could not walk or move around for a long period of time, possibly up to, if I can recall, 2 weeks. Okay. During that time, Tara was my caretaker. That's when she was given a key to get in and out because I could not go up and down the steps without having her come in to take care of me. Well, time goes by. Now I'm at the end of this, and I've healed up and I'm ready to go back to work. So she has stayed over. She stayed behind that morning to show herself out. Once I had gone to work, she had called me and said, we need to talk. And I said, okay. Well, she said she would meet me back at the house, meet me back at my place. While I was gone, what she had found, I had a TV armoire with VHS tapes. And as embarrassing as it is, and this is something I had since I was 19 from back in college, she found an adult video. It wasn't anything crazy. It was just one video in bright orange, I might add, so it wasn't concealed. It was just there.
Oh, so if someone's wearing bright orange, they're not trying to conceal themselves or commit crimes? Let's run that part back because that's very relevant to other things we've heard in this trial.
I might add, so it wasn't concealed. It was just there. that hurt her feelings. She felt so disrespected. I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. I can't even quite remember the last time I had even seen it, but I was still in possession of it.
Sure.
But you
She
moved
sat
to
down
that
in
apartment.
argument.
He moved to that apartment after they started dating, right?
Yeah. And
Possession of it.
this, I could see her based on what everyone has talked about her demeanor and, you know, her attitude and everything. I could see her looking at this and considering it him being deceitful or cheating on her or been unfaithful in some way. There are a lot of people that feel that way. So I could see that she would be hurt that he would need something like that in his life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, or what if it was like homemade? We don't know exactly like what
I
he just says
know.
adult content, but doesn't get more specific. I need more answers. I need Recross on this. He's not giving us the answers in his long answer that I want.
That's what I was worried is it was going to be like a self video of him with some other woman. Yes, DB, that's exactly why Mr. Cruz was asking those questions about her being prudish. And yeah, that I think it lends itself to this situation that, yeah, she would be like, dude, if that's how you roll, I'm out of here.
Yeah, either that or he's using this as an excuse and it's not why they had a fight.
Either way, it's
or
not
it's even
good.
like the tipping point. Like, yes, that's the thing, but are you ever going to get serious? Are you ever going to get for real?
I can't even quite remember the last time I had even seen it, but I was still in possession of it. She sat down in that argument and she demanded.
I misunderstood, DB. My bad. So that would fall
2001.
along, yeah, that would fall along the lines of this is bovine scatology. So got it. And I don't know why we had to know about cellulitis at all. He could have just said I was sick for a while and she came and took care of me. Like what do we, why are we this big, huge wind up to everything? What are we doing?
I don't think that really helps, because if you were trying to leave somebody and it was like the holiday season and then he has an injury, he can't take care of himself, you might say to yourself, well, let me not kick him while he's down.
Right.
And let me wait this out. He still needs some help. And, you know, we've still been through stuff together. So he's still a friend to me. I'm not going to like throw this on him at this point in time. Like that to me just pushes the severity of what's waiting to happen closer towards this January 19th time frame. And he's not going to think it's real in the moment because he doesn't seem like he thinks somebody else would want to leave him. And then two, he's going to be surprised if she is in fact already moving on quicker, but maybe she's able to move on a little bit quicker from him in the early weeks of January because she's just been waiting to get out for the previous like month before that.
She was like, oh, I haven't called you in 2 or 3 days. Like she had moved on. That's the feeling I'm getting from his testimony. I didn't get that feeling from anybody else, but his testimony is making me feel like she was like, okay.
Yeah, and I feel like he's explaining to the jury as if the jury is her catching him with a VHS tape. Like, that's not really, like, I don't get why we need to give the explanation you would have given Tara to explain why this incident wasn't really a big deal. Like, she had questions, we moved on from it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and she didn't see it while she was taking care of him, but saw it after. That's a good point, too. Because if I were in her shoes, I would wonder, like, you might have gotten this. If you hadn't touched it, it was sitting in the back of a box somewhere. But I see this bright orange thing not hidden all of a sudden that I didn't see the last month when I was taking care of you.
Right.
Where did it emerge from now? So, I don't know. Maybe his pride was hurt. Like,
I think his pride gets hurt very easily.
Yeah. Why isn't it playing? Is it playing?
No.
It was a man and a woman.
I think it's
been partners for a while,
the
and they
feed was
actually were
jumping at the
getting
same
married.
time.
Well, there was a bachelor party that didn't have anybody, no females show up or anything, but they had this adult video playing on the TV during that crazy little bachelor party guys kind of thing. Well, that's how I obtained it, because I asked the host, I was like, hey man, you mind if I have the tape? I was not in a relationship or anything at the time. I'm ashamed to say that, embarrassed. But when she found that, I felt like I broke her heart. That was not who she was, and I hope it's not a representation really of who I am. I was a young man. She found that tape, and that was the only time that I can ever recall that she raised her voice at me. And she demanded that I destroy the tape and throw it in the dumpster by my apartments with her hands on her hips, watching me. And I did. And we agreed, and I talked it out, and I laid everything out for her as she asked, and I was laying all my cards on the table. I was honest with her. She chose to show me grace, and she was understanding, and we made up that same day and in that evening. Okay?
Ew.
Ew.
That always stayed in the forefront.
Did you play the tape?
As the time that I could have jeopardized our relationship. And I've always shown her respect. And I didn't realize I was showing her disrespect in that fashion at that time. But she made it clear that that was inappropriate and that I should never do that again. And I agreed. And that's the incident that I explained to law enforcement when they asked me, is there ever a time that's what I hear. Is there ever a time that you have jeopardized your relationship? And that's...
Oh, he is going on and on.
I tell them that story.
Jeopardize your relationship sounds like something you did not when you were 19 years old before you met Tara.
No, jeopardize the relationship sounds like she found some panties. That
yeah,
weren't
or
hers.
this was recorded more presently while they had been dating already, and that's why it was suddenly visible to her, even though she'd been in and out of the house.
Or it was a video of him with someone, so he's sort of telling the truth.
Well, I mean, I don't know exactly what's happening, but like, if he's the one that's in the chair at a bachelor party engaging in something with somebody at the bachelor party, like that's something that could upset somebody.
Sure, absolutely.
And I feel like
he's a horn dog, and she knew that, and all of her friends did too. She discussed it openly that he's fun. So this would not be surprising.
What
would be surprising is if he were in an intimate situation with another woman while he was supposedly committed to her. That would be. So this is all.
And we only get to hear his explanation, but I would think it's probably more likely that that tape came to be after they'd already been dating, and that's why it was in the house at a later point in time. And if it was old, if it was genuinely old, if his story is true, then I think we have a second issue where you are still trying to hang on to this memory of being a bachelor party guy, even if you're committed during your relationship with Tara. But when that relationship is falling away and you have to move back into your mom's basement, that's going to be a bigger pride hit than you were letting on earlier in your testimony. Because you're now 60 miles away from your college lifestyle where you have access to being this guy that's on that video. That life is premature midlife crisis falling down upon you.
And I see here, I lost it now. ACB said supposedly this video was played during the bachelor party, not recorded at the party, whatever. Yeah, that's what he's testifying to. But I'm saying it could be, he could tell us anything. It could have been anything.
Yeah, the fight might not even have been over a VHS, because remember, the VHS is supposedly destroyed, so no one could be like, here's the VHS. Like, this could be a total made up what it was.
I got to tell you, in 99, 2000, I don't know why you would, I guess he would, the only way he can explain him having possession of it is because of this bachelor party, because that's rentable. I mean, Blockbusters and CD video places were everywhere back then. And so that part is weird with this too.
Yeah, why would you want a copy of it if it wasn't like a memory? I was thinking like camcorder, someone's recording the bachelor party and he wanted
Sure.
that copy.
Yes.
But if that's a scenario where they play, it's a copy that existed, like a commercially sold, or who knows, copies were made and they had a copy they played, then this story doesn't make sense. Why would you want a copy just so nobody else would have it? That doesn't make sense.
I know, it's weird.
Does it get any less weird? Let's see if Yalmancelli fixes this for us.
And that's the context of where that answer came from.
Judge, I don't have any other questions for Mr. Melton.
Any recross, Mr. Cruz? Go ahead.
Mr. Melton.
We didn't clear a dang thing up. Not one thing.
Mavka's asking, what's a blockbuster? A big movie. Oh boy.
Yeah, they should have just not done a redirect.
Yeah. No, I think that he had to do the redirect because Mr. Melton wanted to get that information out. He was telepathically sending that to the prosecution that I got to say this. That's what that was all about.
Yeah, just to satisfy him.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he's treating it like this is his client.
It's so weird.
And you've gone to Miss Baker's house with her before, right? We've agreed on that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you've seen, it's fair to say that you would see her take out her key and unlock the door. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So you would know what her house key looks like. Is that correct?
I guess it looks like a house key. Yes, sir.
And you would agree if you showed up to Miss Baker's house unannounced, she would probably let you in. Is that right?
If I showed up to her house unannounced
forced
and knocked
entry.
on the door and she answered the door,
Correct.
yes.
No other questions.
Any redirect,
Difficult
Mr.
to
Yalmancelli?
answer.
No, Your Honor.
May this witness
You
be
mean
excused.
redirect?
Yes, it is.
Any objection from the defense?